Yo, what's happening, people? Welcome to Spurs Kings TV. That intro is longer than our managers that we've had in the last how many years, guy? Now can't even keep up.
40 years, bro. Going past the Enoch regime, bro. Yeah, gone from sugar to scholar.
If you don't know, I'm Marlon. This is Ash. It's time for Ashmatic analysis on a Monday.
Yeah.
Ash, what the hell's going on with Spurs, mate? They finally gave us news on a Monday.
Yeah. Yeah, weird, right? Everyone was complaining, nothing's going on. He should have been sacked a long time ago, blah, blah, blah. And then out of nowhere, we were linked to Ben Davies on Sunday, player manager. I was waiting for that appointment. Quickly went from Ben Davies to Daesh. Then Daesh was denying it, saying, yeah, right, you want to talk about it? Yeah, I don't want none of that.
Daesh already told an Arsenal fan in the pub because I was streaming when it happened, and we got the notification through, and it was like Luke was like, "No, it was just an Arsenal fan, this, that, and the other," and then Daesh confirmed it, confirmed it to the world. Like, I ain't going, man.
Listen. I don't know about you, but look, you might have to go to Auckland. You know what I'm saying? They're announcing Auckland already, so I think it might clash with the Championship. I don't know. With the League Cup, apparently that starts a bit early in the Championship. I don't know. I don't know what's going on,
bro. They are. How'd you put it? They are not preparing. If there's anything like the transfer window, they are not. They're going to have to cut that short.
Boy.
Anyway, we've got a lot to talk about. A lot. Probably is going to be taken over by one man and one man himself. But however, Orin?
Well, I'm good. Bit sick. Got the flu.
I never asked you how he was. You just said Orin. I'm joking.
Man, just coming in and just telling us.
Exactly.
Don't want to know how you are.
Oh, man.
You got an hour for me tonight. That's it. I got to get some beauty sleep. But yeah, another manager. Had to go right.
So,
yeah.
Forget you now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get on to it. They're from another pod. They're both from the same pod as well. But I'll bring them out one by one just to give them their flowers. But first, let's give it up. Tops. Hold on, this is gonna work. Yeah. You well?
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me on.
Hey, Tops, you look clean, man. You don't know me.
Wi-Fi is working, isn't it?
You upgraded in life.
Honestly, man. Yeah, it's good. It's good to be on. Obviously, not that positive at the moment, but yeah.
That's because he got married, right? The wife was like, I ain't having this crap Wi-Fi no more. She told him.
Yeah, man, I had to fix up, but yeah. No, I appreciate you guys having me on. So it's good.
No problem at all. And then next is a guy we ain't had on for time. Ages, it feels like the last time. It's been a minute. But big welcome, Coach Dave. You well?
What we saying, man? We good? Yeah, I'm all right, man. It's Easter break. You know, for those of us that work in schools, this is a key reset.
You got lucky.
Easter break. Make sure you mark that homework here, that assignment that's on the side. I can see it from here, bro.
Why do you think the angle's like this? No, seriously, man. It's all good. Here we are. Do you know what I mean? Another year in the life of Spurs. I think the last time I was on, it was before like a Champions League game or something. Like maybe even. Yeah, it was a while back. Yeah, I know it was a European game because I was driving to the stadium midweek. And, yeah, man, listen, let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens, man. That could be a thing of the past, bro. Oh, remember those nights we used to go to Champions League nights? Yeah.
Well, yeah.
All right. So let's get into the news. All right, Tudor is gone. He's gone. Is everybody happy about the news that he's gone?
Yep.
No complaints from me.
Yep.
Full house.
Yep.
Okay. So why is everyone now complaining who the next guy is? Ash.
Yes.
Come on. Because I know Tops' opinion. So that's why I'm going to leave him till last.
Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. So the whole Zerbi thing is a mixture of the fan base. Obviously, you've got the three groups. I won't talk about it too much, innit? Obviously, they're not happy because of the great thing, innit? And he's kind of backed my man. So it looks a bit nuts. Looks like he's back in it. So they're not happy about that. Anyway, it's the personality. I think that's what's been flying around on X a lot. Him batting up players saying, what are you doing? Call your agent. Call him now. I said, oh, listen. Mix that into Spurs. Oh, yeah, no, look, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a movie. Like Spurs is never a dull moment. I'll leave it at that. And him, the narrative was, we need someone that's going to put an arm around the players because, you know, players nowadays, I know Aura's going to take over in a second. Players nowadays, they need that kind of softer treatment. Do you know what I mean?
TLC.
You get it? And he's the opposite. He's closer to Conte. And then match that with what Frank was doing, a little bit more pragmatic to get it. And then Tudor came in and he wasn't, I wouldn't say pragmatic, but he's not as gung-ho compared to the Zerbi. The Zerbi's coming and it's like the complete opposite to what we've had. We've almost gone back to Ange. If Ange and Conte had a baby, I think you get the Zerbi because they got a lot of principles where attacking football, front football, he wants to be the antagonist, you know, he wants to be the main guy. He doesn't want to sit back. Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, he thinks about attack first, defense, not so much first. The outbursts and the way he demands things is that's a Conte thing. And then also in terms of style, he wants his players to be in certain positions. So he's kind of rigid in he's tied to his philosophy, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's the reason why a lot of people think long term, this ain't gonna work. Or even short term, because we need to just get points on the board. We haven't got time to implement a style and philosophy. And these players, they're prone to mistakes and errors. Do you know what I mean? And their confidence is dropped. So if we're playing at the back, doing a little tick-tack, you know, third man runs, whatever you want to call it, doing little triangles, and then we lose the ball in our own half, and then they score a goal. Or better yet, we're in our own half, and they play one ball over the top. That's when people are saying, oh, geez, you know, this ain't going to work. So I think that's where the fan base's head is at the moment. But me personally, you want to know my opinion? Or should I pass on the gauntlet?
No, we'll get to your opinion in a little bit. Like, you broke it down. So we'll get to your opinion.
That's the reason why I think the fan base is a bit like, you know, and also they're thinking long term, like, he's not a winner. What has he won? You know, like Conte won trophies and Ange won trophies.
It's not that long term right now, is it?
I know, but that's how people are looking at it.
Why are you thinking ahead? We got to think about now.
It's the same argument with Poch, isn't it? But what's Poch won? No, I don't want Poch because he doesn't want anything. So it's that whole, you throw that into the mix. And here we are, man, as Spurs fans. That's why we're so divided.
Oh, so divided. Coach Dave, I'm going to bring you in first before I bring Tops in. Tudor, and then on the Zerbi appointment and how he's going to fit in with these players.
Yeah, listen, Tudor was horrible, man. there was small signs of improvement in some ways, but it wasn't enough. Do you know what I mean? And I think they're looking at someone who's been in the league, who I don't think his record was too great, but it was exciting enough. The thing is, right, Spurs are in hell, innit? Right now. We're in hell, right? And this is a match made in purgatory because we're drifting, right? The season is drifting, and we need a quick change to make it to see where we end up either way. So, listen, I'll give my opinion maybe a little bit later. I understand and I see all the comments. It's on and off the field, isn't it? Like Tudor came in and he was cussing everyone out. Within 2 games, he's like, I ain't got no midfield, I ain't got no defense, I ain't got no attack. Do you know what I mean? Alienating players, a bit like Frank, even alienating players. And then you bring in this guy, you know, and then you've got the whole Greenwood situation, which, you know, rightfully so, fans are not happy with, and then what we stand for as a club, that kind of ethos. And then style of play. Do we have the players and the time to do what he needs to do? Do you know what I mean? We've got, 5 days or whatever till we play Sunderland away. Like, come on, guys, we need to be realistic on this one.
Ain't it like 9 days? I thought we
Yeah,
got 9 days.
yeah, we're gonna play for another 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Oh, is it?
It's
brilliant.
FA Cup. It's FA Cup this weekend.
Oh, fantastic.
So how do you feel now that you know it's FA Cup weekend?
Listen, my mental health has gone through the roof. I don't have to watch Spurs for another week and a bit. That's all I'm happy about. We'll see how it turns out. He'll have a bit of time. Players will be back. He'll have a week and a bit to work with them. But listen, it's going to be a tough job. It's going to be a very tough job.
Tops. I'll bring you in. First Tudor, and then this whole circus that's been going on for the last week. How are you feeling about Zerbi?
I mean, yeah, similar to Dave, like Tudor just couldn't get it right. The whole, the 6 games that he had, it was pretty disastrous, to be honest with you. And then we now know that like it just really wasn't going to work from the beginning, to be honest with you. Someone brought in off the coattails of what Paratici was doing, which further indicates the direction in which those two clowns on the board seem to be taking the club in the direction of. But I mean, I'm very much on the side of where I think most fans are. I mean, I look at the Zerbi as someone who's been quite divisive. And I generally feel when someone is this divisive, it probably isn't for the best reasons. I feel like, admittedly, his time at Brighton was fairly okay. I think he had like a 50% win ratio. He played some good stuff. I've seen some highlights, and I remember his game being kind of developed in the way that would kind of entice teams and kind of draw teams out. In what was quite an exciting team for Brighton, getting him into Europe, some big scouts against United, City, Chelsea, and whatnot. But ultimately, I think as we move into this sort of age of football fans, and the one big thing I think that we as a club have not done well in the last 4 or 5 years is that distance between the fans and the club hasn't been getting closer. It's been moving away. We've done lots of different things to try and bring different managers in and then bring different players, but ultimately the gap between the fans and the club seems to be getting larger and larger. And I just feel like a divisive character like De Zerbi wouldn't really go any further in closing that gap, which I think is really important. The last time I felt like we had a very, very close connection with the club was obviously when we won the Europa League, just because of the pure success of it. And then before that, I would really say under Poch, really, which was back in 2019. I don't have anything against him. I've seen lots of different clips of him in the changing rooms and how he speaks to players, but I just get the feeling that he's not the kind of guy that this group of players currently need, in my opinion.
Oren?
Yeah, like Tudor had to go, obviously. And as soon as the Nottingham Forest game happened, I think that was the one voice thing it's saying he should be sacked. There shouldn't be like any second chances or anything. And I had a feeling, like I did say that, when he got appointed, that this could be. Remember when Conte got sacked and his assistant coach took over, and then he got sacked, and then Ryan Mason came in. I had a feeling that was going to happen. Like it just something about it. Obviously the position's worse for Spurs, but it was the same kind of scenario. And now Spurs are going to try and get I can't even pronounce his name, but they're going to try and get him. But it's like I did a little bit of research. I was only like watching YouTube videos from 2 years ago and tactics and stuff. And like a lot of the Brighton players saying like how he was a manager who gets involved and showed them how to become better on the training pitch, and basically like he tries to always offer an option when he plays a 3-man. It's always, which I think it's what Spurs need. And I guess it's like as well, if Spurs manage to get him, that's the manager they wanted in the summer anyway. So does he come in with the power and saying, right, if I keep you guys up, if I keep this club up, you got to break the wage structure? Because I think he's always had an issue with like every manager does, like not being backed or not being able to get the right players. So maybe this could be something like a sign of Enoch going, right, we will bust the bank to get this manager in. We'll bust the wages. And if he keeps them up, then he has every right to say, you know, right, this is what I've done. There's your promise. Like, in truth, all managers who have like lost the plot at Spurs is because of getting, you know, not backed. Or
Levy is the word.
What?
It's called Levy, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, well, you see, that's the thing. I mean, it's easy to say that now, but
he's part of it. So you can still say the same thing.
You're always going to say he's part of it, but he's not. In this particular case, he's not part of it because he's not. He's not involved in the club. So it's a case of, I've always said it, maintain it. I'm not saying that, you know, I'm not going to go on the whole Levy path. I've said it before, but this is Enoch. This part of this whole fracture is to do with Enoch making the wrong decisions, the board not being able to push. Like, why didn't the board just get, right, we're going to get Zerbi now in the transfer Johnny, or when they could, instead of waiting until now? It just seems like I said before, Enoch now has to do something. There is no more scapegoat. There is no more.
But then he rejected Marseille at the time, and he was at a club. So
no, well, it's well. Then he
see the
I'm
problem.
talking about when he left. When he left.
When he left, yeah. So he's obviously had a change of heart because he said no at the time. And but you got to remember also in this situation is Spurs are desperate. We weren't desperate back then. You got to remember we weren't desperate. He now holds all the cards in this.
Exactly.
But hold on, that's the problem. For some reason we weren't desperate when we should have been desperate.
Yeah, that's the thing.
We're now going to pay him like top 5 money in the league for 7 games potentially. Because if we end up in the Championship, we've then got this manager on big money doing
he goes.
Yeah, he goes. He'll have the contract.
Yeah, he'll go. Because the biggest concern for him was the reason why he never signed in the first place. Well, when Tudor was because he didn't know what division we're going to be in. And we've got to desperation stage, obviously, because we're now in a situation where we are completely
screwed.
We're screwed. So he's now thinking, all right, he holds all the cards in the negotiation. Levy hold nothing. Enoch.
Let him go.
I was meant to say Enoch. Enoch, right now, know they're desperate as a club. So if you're in that situation, you get to this point, you just go, all right, if this happens, I do this. If this happens, I do this. If this happens, I stay.
And if I stay, because again, sign him in the summer, makes promises, gets Spurs to 5th. Oh, manager has a rant because the board didn't promise what it was going to promise. But if he keeps Spurs up, it's like, right, this is what I've done. Give me this player, this player, this player, this player, this player.
If they want to come,
money. That's it.
Well, this is the thing. Yeah,
Enoch came out and says we will break the wage structure. Fans haven't forgot about that. Every single time Spurs lose, it's right there.
And which they have for Conor Gallagher, even though he's not the right profile.
Yes, so maybe that was a statement.
Please don't do that. Don't do it. Come on.
No, I get what, like, basically we can look at Conor Gallagher, but like, let's be honest. I always like to give the player benefit of the doubt. If Conor Gallagher came into a team that was flying in 3rd place and then all of a sudden they're sitting 10th, absolutely understandable. But he's came into a very, very difficult team. And I don't think he's played in this position twice, like proper position twice. He's been asked to play out of position, topsy-turvy, injury. He hasn't had time to bed in. He hasn't had time to, like, he hasn't had a preseason. He probably doesn't even know half the players' names. Obviously, I'm not going too far, but like to give him, to give him that slate and that stake. But again, Enoch kind of go, right, we'll break the wage. Look what we did. But it's overlooked. Because if Conor Gallagher came and he was a leader and started leading that Spurs team, every fan was like, what a signing. Amazing. Great. Had every right to break the wage structure.
Conor Gallagher's best position is in his Spurs squad is then? And where has the shortcomings been? Because he said he's being played out of position.
Yeah.
So what position should he be playing in that midfield trio?
Box to box.
Box to box.
So number is that number 8 role? I don't like numbers, but
yeah. Let's say it's the same number.
Yeah. So you think if he's deployed in that box-to-box position, then you'll see a better Conor Gallagher?
Yeah, of course. That's the thing. It's not just one player. If all the team starts playing good, because Xavi has to play at number 10. So I think Zerbi looks at that team and go, right, I have faith that I can change this.
So is Conor Gallagher the best ball carrier then? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not. No. Don't be playing. Don't be that.
No,
I'm not saying nothing. I'm just saying.
Number 8 role. It's number 8. I'm going to answer the question. It's the number 8 role, and the number 8 role.
Conor Gallagher's a number 8.
If we're looking at the Zerbi,
whatever attributes you want to add to that.
Yeah, but we don't have a ball carrier, do we? Apart from Bergwall.
Xavi. Isn't Xavi?
So yeah, we don't have
No,
a
but
ball
as in that's in that number 8 as a number 8, because I know what Ash is getting at, because Xavi's a number 10, and so is Maddison, so is Kulu. So if when you look beyond that, the only number 8 that can carry the ball is Bergwall, but he's not good at anything else apart from that. Everyone else is just.
No, I disagree.
Who else is then?
I think Sa is a competent ball carrier as well.
It's not really.
I personally, I know in my heart. I mean, I'm sorry, Orion.
He's never shown us that.
I can't sit here and I can't listen.
Well, I think he has shown it, but then he played under Ange, who doesn't. Anyway, let's forget about that.
I just
Conte didn't trust him until he absolutely had to. Then he put in an absolute all-timer game in the Champions League against AC Milan, right, in a pivot next to Højbjerg, right? Europa League final, he's probably one of our best players. He can do things on both sides of the ball. I'm not saying he's the best option, but my fear is that De Zerbi's going to come in and go, Gray, Gallagher.
It's not that, but the question was Sa being a ball carrier. That's the bit I'm arguing against.
I think he can. I think he can do it.
I don't think, but we've never actually seen it.
Him and Bergwall are comfortably our 2 most confident ball carriers in number 8. Yes.
I've never seen it.
I just think, see with Sa, his weaknesses is passing, his decision making.
His passing is useless.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But and I don't think 1v1 dribbling he's good. But if there's space and he needs to carry the ball from A to B, he can do that. That's one thing he can do.
Yeah.
If there's space.
But that's the thing. You've got to go and create the space. Where with Bergwall, he'll go and create the space. Where but Bentancur could probably do that if he had space.
But I think Bergvall's decision making for me is poor.
Yes, it is. And that's why I said, yeah.
And I remember hearing a video clip of the Zerbi saying, "Let's touches. And I was like, Bergwall, Xavi, them men are in trouble because they like to touch the ball a lot. But go on, Dave.
Yeah, I think Bergwall's decision making is a legacy of him playing 10 in his previous club, where he had loads of time on the ball, loads of time. The quality wasn't that great, but he played a little bit higher, and then he was taking loads of risks. I think he's learning over the past year and a half. Listen, everyone likes to slate some of these players, but there was a good 10-game run or whatever last season where Bergwall and Gray were some of our best performers in a dysfunctional team. Do you know what I mean? Like, he can put in that shift, and you see it from even rival fans. It's weird that rival fans rate him higher than maybe some Spurs fans.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's an incredible. Say again.
Who was it?
Bergwall.
Oh, Bergwall. Okay, yeah.
He's an incredible talent, but
he's
again,
incredible talent.
I said this, last year after we won the Europa. I'm saying it now. I've been saying it for 6 months, right? You build a team around this type of player. You build a team around Gray, Bergwall, as a midfield, and say, right, what do we need is complementary? And Conor Gallagher is not it, personally.
He ain't it. He just ain't it. Like, there's a reason he's not playing. There's a reason. This is a guy that is clearly not at the technical level. He is not at the technical level. And people can sit here and say, oh, well, he's not playing in the right position and he's not being given the opportunity. This is a guy that has been made the highest paid player in the club, or second highest paid player in the club. This is the guy that apparently they broke the wage structure, but he can't get in the midfield over Sa. He can't get in the midfield over Palhinha. He can't get in the midfield over Bergwall. He can't get in the midfield over Gray. So tell me, if De Zerbi comes in and he's going to want to play in a specific system that's going to require technical ability from his midfielders, why does that make you think that Conor Gallagher is going to suddenly walk in and he'll be just fine? It's going to be worse. It's going to be way worse.
But there's a few players like that. He's not the only one. I don't think Sa plays in the De Zerbi team.
I mean, I can sit here and say to you, I probably to some extent agree with that. But again, my biggest thing with Sa is that Sa's biggest ability is his off-the-ball ability for the team, in my
Yes, I agree, and I agree with that. That I completely agree with.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the things he does on the ball, I think that's where it becomes questionable.
I sit here, and Dave knows as well how I feel about Sarr. Like, I feel personally, we wasted money on Gallagher because we have a version of Gallagher with actually potentially a higher ceiling in Sarr. I just feel that money could have been used so much more better.
Do you feel like Sarr will be sold in the summer though? Do you feel like he's
and I've said this as well on the pod in the group. I feel because of the Gallagher signing, we may end up selling Sarr.
Sarr will be gone,
which is a disaster in my opinion.
This is ridiculous.
It depends. Again, it depends on what division we're in. Because I suppose in that sense, if we're in the Championship, I think Sarr stays.
You have a player, in my opinion, who has a higher ceiling, who can still be developed in a way that you need him to be, over a player who we know what his ability is. We know the kind of player Conor Gallagher is. We know what his ceiling is now. We know what he did at Chelsea wasn't good enough. We know what he did at Atletico wasn't good enough. He's landed on his feet at Spurs in the highest paid role in the club. Like,
to be fair though, you say Chelsea fans didn't really want Gallagher to be sold though, and first year at Atletico he was half decent. They were loving him, and then all of a sudden,
does Gallagher play over Lavia? No. Does Gallagher play over Enzo? No. Does Gallagher play over Santos? No. Does Gallagher play over Caicedo? No. I don't understand.
But he wasn't playing there under Poch.
I know,
Poch was playing further forward, wasn't he?
But that's the point. He came out in a moment in Chelsea where they obviously I think was coming out of the ban or whatever. Yeah. They were just able to you needed a player like that, but he was never going to be. And my metric, right? I know it probably seems so far off now, but my metric for players has always been the same, because our struggle has always been with a squad, squad quality. With Poch, we had, our 1 to 11 was decent enough and competitive enough. But when you had to make a sub, we were bringing on, dry food. So my thing is, I look at this player and I say, if I'm signing this player, whether he's a starter or not, if I had to play him in a Champions League semi-final or quarter-final with an FA Cup, let's say FA Cup semi-final, do I think and go, that's the weak spot? I'm worried about that. And Gallagher's one of them players. I'm sorry. And the thing is, what made it even worse, he was available on loan. Aston Villa had it wrapped up on loan. And we said, our first break of this wage structure has been holding us back for 20 odd years. Our first attempt at it is going to be a guy that everyone else wants on loan, because they realise at this stage, 6 months in, maybe not. He didn't really play for Madrid, so he might not have even been fit enough. He's going from the Spanish League back to the Premier League. Yes, he played there before, but listen, it still takes time to acclimatise. And we're a team in dire straits. And Bentancur got injured at the weekend. What are we doing paying 40 mil or whatever, 200k a week to Conor Gallagher? Come on, man. Let's be guided, man.
The loan was right there. The loan was right there.
Do you think it was down to the fact though, and this is just me throwing this out there, was no Bergvall, he was injured. Archie Gray was not the player he has the last 2 games. Like, his midfield role, every time he played there, he was getting completely turned. And Sarr his form had dipped massively.
Yeah. So this is why I say get a loan, because you want that experience and driving dog or whatever he has. Yeah. That people, these mythical things that Conor Gallagher has that no one else apparently has. But anyway, you bring him in, right, on loan. Why? Because Bergvall will be back from injury March. Okay. And also, Gray had also played. He played in the 10. He played as a 6. He played in right back. Like, you're not going to get the best player.
Okay, but the question then is, because you all said loan, does he pick us over Aston Villa?
I mean,
don't care. I would never cared.
No, but then we've signed nobody.
If we're willing to
I know what you mean.
Then yeah, you have to do what you need to do to make it work.
You know what it is? This is not my opinion, but I reckon the club looked at missing out on Morgan Gibbs-White. Now, I know Morgan Gibbs-White is a technical level above what Gallagher is, yeah? But I think they were looking at him as that kind of a number 8 role /10, similar to what Gallagher is, isn't it? He's that 8/10. At 10, he's been at West Brom. At 10, he's been at Crystal Palace. Under Poch, You've seen him in the 10. Obviously,
Hybrid. He was very hybrid on the punch, yeah.
before Poch, obviously, he was like an 8. You know what I mean? Sometimes played in the 6. But that's very similar in line with Morgan Gibbs White, if that makes sense. So maybe they were thinking, all right, Frank, we've missed out on Morgan Gibbs White, because Frank was in charge at the time. And they probably said, raw, Conor Gallagher's available. Do you want him? Like, the only way we can get him is if we buy. And obviously, Frank wanted that Premier League experience. He didn't want, because remember before we had gambled on youth a lot, and that backfired. And even Ange admitted that, we made a mistake in January when we got all these young players in. We need to have some experience. The club acknowledged that, and then they thought, okay, we're going to get experience in, and it comes over the way of Chelsea's, former captain, Conor Gallagher. We need leaders because the dressing room's a mess. Like, Romero's not leading. He's not doing the captain thing. People are doing their own thing. People feel like they can't talk to him. And that's the reason why they were probably looking at Robertson as well. Do you get it? Because he's an experienced head that's been in the Premier League. Again, like, for me, he's a player that's going out. He's on his last legs, in my opinion. He hasn't got the same burst of power of Robertson. So I wasn't really happy about that signing. And Conor Gallagher, I know in at the defensive third, he's not technical enough to take it off the fullback and then to progress the ball. But they were probably looking at, the way Frank plays. Sometimes he bypassed the midfield. Conor Gallagher, legs, do you know what I mean? Box to box, that type of player. And obviously as fans, you want more of a technical higher level, because if you're going to replace a Sarr or a Bergvall, you need someone that's going to be technically above them, or at least minimum, thereabouts.
What I don't understand is they were like, okay, if we're going off based on Thomas Frank's style of play, and can we get this player to elevate it? Thomas Frank's style of play, where was that? Where had that got us in mid-Jan? All right, cool.
And what exactly?
What are we doing here?
What exactly would have Conor Gallagher have changed in that motion? Then, if you're going to go down that level, what would he have
the answers? I'm just like them, man. Innit?
Like, do you know what, man? You know what's crazy? Like, I look at this whole situation, and I have nothing against Conor Gallagher, because it keeps pointing to those two idiots above the team. It keeps pointing to them, the misuse of funds, the direction in which we make these transfers, the way that these guys are moving, the audacity to come out and tell us that we needed nothing more in January but Conor Gallagher. It points more to their indecision and the decisions they're making being poor.
What did you think, though?
Do you think that Conor Gallagher does start under the Zerbi? Because I think he does. It depends on Archie Gray. It depends if he can keep up his form. But I think Conor Gallagher will start under the Zerbi.
Why?
Because he's more of the profile players that the Zerbi's usually after. And if you can get him up to
I don't know, because I looked at, when I was reading it, he plays with the double pivot, the 4-2-3-1.
Well, there's going to be Bentancur and Paulini then.
Okay, let me start again. He plays with two in midfield. The two midfielders that he has, one is more of a controller, right? And then one is more of a ball carrier. And then obviously you got your number 10 that can be, he can drop into the midfield to help out and be an extra man in the build-up at times. So I'm looking at those profiles and I'm like, who's the controller and then who's the ball carrier? Do you know what I'm trying to say? In our team, like who fits those profiles?
Biss.
That's what I'm cross my mind slightly. It crossed my mind slightly, like, because you know what it is with certain players, they need to have certain types of coach. Now, when I say that, I'm looking at McAllister, I'm looking at Caicedo. He was under the Zerbi, innit? And then since leaving Liverpool, I feel like both of them have kind of dipped, in my opinion. He made them into £100 million or £60 million, whatever what they went for. He kind of took them to that level. He elevated them. But he's a bit like Conte. He was like, I need you to stand here. And I don't need you to move anywhere else. Do you know what I'm saying? So it goes back to what Oren was saying. He wants people to be responsible, be leaders. Like, he doesn't want them to be robots. He wants them to have their own mind. But I think for some players, and it depends how far they're on in their career, and I think Basuma might be one of those guys, because when he left Brighton, he just fell off a cliff. Do you know what I'm saying? And then there was a reason why Sarr wasn't getting no game time under Conte, because he probably looked at him. He's like, I'm not sure if he can follow the instruction. I don't know if he's got that, the focus, that discipline to kind of be in a position and just be disciplined, like not move. Because a lot of players, they're like, I don't know, ADHD. You know what I'm saying? Every 2 seconds, they're like thinking about what's on TV, or they're thinking about what they're going to eat, rather than like having their head in a game. So they just want to move around and move where the ball is. Where I think at the Zerbi kind of likes that kind of positional play. Like he likes a player to know that position. If you move in that one, like a chess game, you move here, then this guy moves here. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's what a lot of the Spurs players are. They're very robotic. That's what I've said. I've said the opposite. I've said like Spurs players are so robotic, they just do as they're told. They don't take the initiative in games, and that's what the problem is. They won't do, like, if the Spurs have plenty of players that if they told them just to run up and down the pitch, they'll just do that. Don't touch the ball, don't do anything. They're very robotic. So basically, Zerbi coming in, Angie. If you look at Angie was.
Can I challenge you on that after you finish? Can I challenge you on that?
It's like Angie said, play. They like to be structured. They like to be completely disciplined, and they do as they're told. So it's part of hiding behind the manager. It's like, oh, I did this. I'm going to play it like Vicario. I'm going to play out the back, pass it to Gray because the manager told me to do it. Even though I saw a player coming to mark him, I can clear it long. But then when the manager says, please use your initiative, he'll boot it long. These players need to be constantly told and micromanage on what to do, because players today want to hide. This is Spurs players.
I hear it. And I heard the Zerbi saying he doesn't like players that hide. He wants people with personality to be courageous and confident. Do you know what I mean? Those are the type of players that he's looking for. Issue is, guess who does his own thing? Romero, right? So when you've got players doing their own thing, what happens? Gaps open up. Do you know what I'm saying?
But Romero, we've said this before though. Romero is only doing that because he feels that he really has to, because the attackers aren't doing it.
But my point is, certain times.
That's the point.
That's the point. As a midfielder, forget Romero for a second.
Mm-hmm.
I could be a midfielder, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I get attracted to the ball.
Mm-hmm.
If I get attracted to the ball, I'm not focusing what's on behind me. We've seen it with Poro. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
He's not checking his mirrors. He's not seeing what's behind him.
Mm-hmm.
So you're thinking about the offensive side of things, but then for every action, there's a reaction. So I could just leave a gap. 2-2s were exploited, then it looks like it's my fault. Because why? Because I want to take the initiative. But sometimes you need someone else to have those eyes in the back of your head to help you out. Do you get it?
Or you need, I get that, but or you need different options, which that's what the triangle is created for. The triangle creates, when the player has the ball, he has two players, not just one. So if he sees a player coming and he sees that player has mark, he looks for the second option. Right now with Spurs, no players are moving into position. They just stand and wait. And when they pass the ball, it's, okay, I've done my job. I'm not going to run forward. I'm not going to overlap. And even when they do overlap, like I've seen Spence pass the ball and he tries to overlap. He doesn't get the ball. I've seen Solanke try to make runs in behind. There's no pass. It's head down. I'll just pass it sideways because it's safe and easy for me. So basically what Zerbi is going to come in, he's going to come in is going to have, so every player needs an option. Yeah.
So check this now. The guy that you don't like, Kudos, right? Do you remember?
I don't like him.
Not like him, but you thought he was overrated, right? That's what, something like that.
Yeah, I just thought you
thought there was a bit too much hype. Whatever. So Kudos used to get the ball, and he wouldn't release the ball quick enough. Yeah, for example, he would take too many touches in certain areas where he needs to release it quicker. But that's what you just said. You just said like some players, they're not looking for their players. They're taking, you know what I'm saying? They're not.
No, basically, it's with Kudus though. We came to the conclusion that because he did that, because he had no one else to pass to, and I've said this before. What every good manager does, every player, when that player has the ball, he has two options. That's what made Poch's team flow. When every player had the ball, because those players knew where to stood, when to make runs. Dele Alli would pass the ball or whatever, and he'd make a run. Eriksson would see it, and then we'd have Harry Kane also, which creates diversion. So basically, with Kudus, what Zabat, I can't even pronounce his name. I would just call him Roberto. But what he does is basically he wants to have 1-on-1 with the wingers, So if he can get Kudus one-on-one with the winger each time, because he'll allow Solanke to drop deep and the exactly drop deep. That's I did a bit of research into how he set up his tactics. When he has that, basically it's exactly what Kudus needs, one-on-one. Because when Kudus overthinks, that's when he starts taking too much touches. But if Kudus, we've seen Kudus when he needs to know, I've only got one player to beat, bam, he's gone, and he's going to always be the player. So yes, again,
is it the players then, or is it the coach? Because
it's a mixture of both.
It's a bit of both.
It's a mixture of both. I've always said it's like players. If a manager sets up the team, the players will stick to it. So it has to be the manager, and then basically sometimes the players will just shut down and not even stick to it. So
do you have hope then with the Zerbi? Do you think with the Zerbi he will set us up in a better way and players respond better then?
Well, yeah, it has to. There can't be any hope in this. There's no. Hope. It has to. It has to be. Yeah.
Does the Zerbi keep us in the league, or does the Zerbi relegate?
No, the Zerbi keep us. Spurs. Spurs are not going to get relegated. It has 7 games, and like as long as like that's the thing. I think the fans who are they might. I think they just want to accept it in case it happens. But like either it doesn't matter. I've said it before. If Spurs stay up or Spurs get relegated, it doesn't matter because Enoch. This is about Enoch. Enoch has to fork out money, and that's what every single Spurs fan want. Enoch has to do it. So if Spurs stay up, they have to fork out money. If Spurs go down, they have to fork out money. So or they have to sell the club, one or the other. So whatever the outcome is, I've said it before. For all the Spurs fans who have 25 years, this is probably the best thing to happen to the club in the most fucked up way. Because if Frank was sitting 4th or 5th or 6th, Enoch would have just been able to hide, not bring in any players. They have to bring in. They can't even hide behind the Europa League Cup win now. No trophy to hide behind. It's a complete disaster season. So if they stay up, they cannot afford to make that mistake again.
So I throw the question out to you lot. Obviously, Oren thinks, there's enough games that the Zerbi can turn it around and Spurs aren't getting relegated. What do you man say? What, has he got enough time? Is he going to be able to implement his style in 7 games?
You know what? It's not, for me, it's not even about the Zerbi. It's actually about some of the players coming back. I think Bergwijn improves us, Kudus improves us. Even just giving us more strength in depth to be able to ride out games. Like we play 45 minutes and we've got no answers. Get to 60 minutes, our subs coming on probably are ready to drag us back to a draw, to a win, all those kind of things. I've always sensed, from my perspective, that we would just scrape it, maybe a point or 2 above West Ham. But at the same time, we've got to start scoring goals and keeping teams out. Do you know what I mean? And regardless of manager, I think at the same time, I would like it to come down to the players. Players, you show up. You show up. Do you know what I mean? Because yes, we've had pragmatic. Yes, we've had long ball. We've had chaos ball. We've had all these different types of football over the past few years. But one consistent thing is players letting themselves down. It's Romero dropping a 7 out of 10 one week and a 2 out of 10 the next week. Do you know what I mean? It's Van der Ven doing, ice skating, in the box when he's in the 1v1.
Do you think the inclusion of 2 players coming back is going to change the whole team's morale and all of a sudden?
No. I'm just saying, for a relegation team, 2 players could be the difference. If we were going for Europe, I wouldn't probably say this. If we were going for Champions League, I wouldn't say that. But not having to play a Gallagher and hopefully playing the Bergwijn, not having to, I don't know, we forcing Mwani out to play on right wing, right?
Yeah.
Man. And we've got Tudor, like Owen said,
Bergwijn.
We've played Sousa. We played Sousa at right wing. Lads, come on, man.
Easy.
Do you know what I mean? So having Kudus as an option there, regardless of what, he's still. I saw a stat the other day. He's our highest assist, this season. He ain't played since January.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Do you not think though? Just on that, with Kudus coming back, him and Solanke and plus Richarlison could be the 3 that could keep us up if they can go and score the goals. Because Solanke and Kudus have never played together. I know.
I do not want a striker playing on the wing. What are we doing here? Like these front threes with
but Richarlison played on the left for Everton and kept him up, and he played on the left last year in the Europa League run and kept him up and got us through to the final. I know what you're saying, but he played half decent, and That's
He
why
did.
yeah.
He did, but to get the best out of a Solanke, you don't play with Richarlison left wing because you need that pass coming in.
But Solanke played well in the Europa League run last year when Richarlison was out there.
Yeah, but we also played a style of football which is completely different. We played a defensive football.
But we're playing defensive football last year and played a counter, and it's most likely going to be exactly the same. Well, it depends what
Zerbi comes in with a more attacking style. He's going to try and
we'll see. He hasn't worked with these players yet. So
I know that's a good point. So personally, I feel like if you play one striker, whichever one that is, right, and you've got Tell on one side, Kudus on the other side, and finally we have some attacking wing play. Because remember, they sold Johnson and they didn't bring anyone back. Do you know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting to see how it pans out. But I also feel like, you know, he can get the best out of some of these attacking players and there'll be a positive.
Sorry. I'm just watching this clip here. He's just losing his mind. Yeah, carry on, man. Sorry.
No, he's like that. But that's, you know, there's a thin line between genius and insane, isn't it? You know,
yeah, I hear it. No, it's going to be him versus Romero. I can imagine like the first one. Like,
I wouldn't be surprised if they get along.
Yeah, true.
Because I think Romero will find someone who's as intense as him and will challenge him, but in a good way. Do you know what I mean? You know, I think they actually might do well. I don't think he did well with obviously Frank and.
You think that was the problem then? Like, lots of people didn't respect the managers that we brought in, so the players just thought, "Rah, these guys, man, they don't know nothing."
Yeah.
That is literally a given because you have to also earn a little bit of respect. Sometimes you need to have a little bit of clout for someone to be like, okay, what you're saying to me actually makes sense. What you're saying to me is something worth listening to. And I think it's easy to sit there and say, okay, I'm the manager, I'm the one that's leading the race. But actually, if what you're saying to me is not something that I really want to hear, it's not something I really want to respect, I think from the very beginning, we kind of saw that. And I thought maybe things would change. We tried different systems. We tried different players in different places. And under Frank, it just didn't work. So you have to understand there are players who are fully fledged internationals, guys who have been in the league for quite a long time, playing at quite a high level. And they're looking at it and thinking to themselves, why are we being forced to play this style of football? And just because we're forced to play this style of football doesn't mean that we really want to. We might just have to. And you know what players are like, man. Like, that sometimes is even conveyed in how they play, how they approach the games. And you look at the responses from players like Spence, from players like Richarlison initially, from players like Van der Ven, you know, after games. They're clearly not happy. And obviously the way that they're being told to play is not something that a lot of them were necessarily happy with. I mean, do I think someone like Zerbi will get on with a lot of guys? Like, I just think we have a lot of losers in our group. I just think, personally, I think the young guys, you can kind of account for it because you're still learning the game, you're still like bettering your craft, you're still early and young in the league, but there's a lot of guys that are not, and those guys are the ones that I say are the straight losers. When it gets to any form of adversity, they can't even lean on any level of mental strength, any level of technical ability to get them out of any little bit of trouble. And as the week has gone on,
Tops, have we not always had that? But we've just been lucky that we had Kane and Son around for so many years.
I do believe that, but then I think as well there were also times where we actually were able to build that mental strength. I believe the team that Poch kind of delivered for us was a very strong mental team. They would turn up on a weekend and you would feel like they were not going to get beat. You could watch that. You could literally sense that from watching some of these guys.
Yeah, but that was how many years ago? And we've had Conte since then. We've had
Mourinho,
and they've all said the exact same thing.
A number of different things. We've not squad planned particularly well. We've not recruited particularly well. I still believe as well over the years it's constantly been a mishmash of players from different regimes, unfortunately. And we've kind of got to this point where it's just like we now have a group of players who are from lots of different sort of regimes, players who I don't think are particularly at a high technical level in the league, when I think at this point in the league, we have stayed stagnant, and lots of teams in and around us have got stronger from a technical perspective. From a recruitment perspective, they've got stronger, and we've not really been able to match up with that in the transfer window, despite being a team of our stature. But ultimately, it still goes back to my main point. I think one of the big things nowadays in football is the intangibles. Is where are you mentally? Are you able to deal with a little bit of adversity? Are you able to suffer well? And time and time again, I've seen a lot of times in this season, a lot of games, a lot of instances where I can say with confidence, we don't like suffering well. We don't like adversity. The minute it gets
so on that point, then are we getting relegated with Zerbi? Because you're saying these players don't have the mental capacity to
in my opinion, I think we will get relegated. I don't know if it will happen, because I think West Ham are quietly worse than us. But if we're talking from the perspective that I'm looking at it, I see a group of players who can't build or get themselves any confidence right now, and that's the most concerning thing for me. We ain't won in 13. We ain't scored and won a game by more than 2 goals since October in the league. Like, we have conceded 2+ in 11 straight. We have not won since December the 28th. I don't know where this confidence is coming from. I'm concerned. It's concerning me.
I hear it, man. Does anyone? I know Oren disagrees. He thinks we'll stay in the league, but I think Pop's got points, valid points, because defensively, the Zerbi doesn't work on defense really like that. I'm not saying he doesn't look at defense at all, but he's known for his attacking traits. That means we have to outscore every opponent, and not, no matter what we concede, we need to outscore them. So these players, they need to start scoring goals.
Yeah, and I think it's fine margins, isn't it? Like, Nottingham Forest, we had majority of the ball. We were in the ascendancy from at least the 25th, 30th minute, and then they score from a set piece. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's more to it than just attacking and defending. There's just set pieces, there's organisation, all that kind of stuff. And that's where the intangibles comes into it. That's when you look at it and go, right, Vicario still can't manage his box. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's been, 3-4 years now. Don't even understand it. Still can't claim across if he's under a little bit of pressure. You look at Romero just jogging back, for the second goal. And then we put ourselves behind the 8 ball, because you're trying, you're really stressing to get those clear-cut chances to score a goal, to get back into the game, to make it 2-2 or whatever the case may be. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, because we're going to have to be so switched on for 90 minutes, and we haven't seen that from these players in a long time. Is it a legacy of the fact that, last year they were able to get away with all those losses in the Premier League, and, the Europa League kind of covered it up? Is it, that they've been too pampered, because they always had a manager who's backing them and saying they're going to win trophies, whatever, in the second season? Is it a legacy from that? Is it because they just hated Thomas Frank, and the fact that he told everyone that Porro was world-class and give the ball to Porro, he'll smash it long, and we'll see what happens? That was his style of play. What is it? We don't know, but wherever it is, they've got until the 12th to fix it.
By the way, the Zerbi has been relegated. Like, he has had a team where he's got them relegated before. But the caveat to that was it was early in his career in Serie A. So I think he had 29 games in charge. So he joined early October, and then he got that team relegated. But I think he was only 4 years into his management career when that happened. But yeah, take from that information what you may, because I think Marseille was his last game, and Marseille was a bit tipsy-topsy. I know some of the players that he wanted to keep hold of were sold, because a lot of people are thinking, why has he left Marseille? Why has he left Brighton? Why is he leaving? If he's such a top guy, why is he leaving all these different positions? But from what I've read and what I've seen, they're saying that basically there was a few players that got sold. He wasn't happy. I think there was a massive player fallout as well in the changing rooms. I forgot the guy's name, but it was Jonathan Rowe. He used to play for Norwich, English Don. He had a rockers with the next guy. in the changing rooms, but that midfielder that he had a fight with, he was critical to the way the Zerbi was playing. So these things here, they play small little factors. But the thing that knocked out the Zerbi from Marseille was he had a good start, he was really well, and then boom. Like
the guy that from the video that you see, if you actually watch the full video clip, the players actually backed De Zerbi and said they told him, the guy, I've forgotten his name now, Canadian guy, that he needs to up his game if he's coming to Marseille. They told him and he didn't listen. And then De Zerbi's coming and it's probably the last straw where, come on, if you're not going to do this. And he was sold. I believe he was sold in the summer, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was sold, yeah.
But look, this is the guy that's what Marseille, from what they say, is it the last 30 years, 4 years, he's got the best win percentage that Marseille have had. Okay, followed by Tudor apparently. And then Brighton, he has the best win percentage in the Premier League with Brighton. Like no Brighton manager. So he's not just a nobody. This is a guy that's got to come in and he's got to try and implement his style in the next couple of weeks. I get that, but we're desperate. I'm at this present moment, I want to stay in the Premier League, and I don't care who the manager is. He just needs to
get results
up.
And
just needs to get results.
If we were to get results, sorry, go on.
Because everyone's throwing the whole his first 5 games at Brighton, but his first 5 games at Marseille, I think he won 4 of them.
Yeah.
So you just don't know what we're going to get.
Yeah.
And at this present moment, as Top said, he just needs to get these players on side and being able to fight, because at this present moment, we are going down without a whimper. Like the fact we haven't won a game, if we were to win at least one, we bring Leeds into it, who can't win a game either.
Nottingham Forest are also in the Europa League Cup as well. I think that'll play a part. And West Ham are still in the FA Cup as well, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, but with West Ham, they're the only ones showing any sort of form. Like every time they've lost, it's been kind of okay. But they're the only ones. They've got a hard running, but at least they're showing something under Nuno. But it's taken them ages, and that's the other thing.
Would you guys stand on like we want to stay in the league? It's important that we stay in the league. It's important that we don't get relegated. But in doing so, like, is this where we jump off the cliff for a guy and pay him top money when we also know potentially in the summer a range of different managers suddenly become available?
So in this sense, we don't, because the board, and this is not us as fans, because we obviously didn't want, they've made too many mistakes. And unfortunately, at this present moment, you've kind of got to say, if it's not De Zerbi, you're still going to have to pay the next guy the exact. We could have been possibly paying Sean Dyche probably a shitload of money too. So whatever, because they've made mistake, they now need to cover it up with money. And I think one of the guys in the chat made it earlier. He said they're going to pay, if they spend 60 million, but they could lose 300 million if they go down. So they've got to take, unfortunately now they're in a situation as a business, this is now business, they've got to take the risk somewhere because they've made too many mistakes throughout the season. And this goes into the whole 25-year stuff as well, but they've made too many mistakes this season by appointing Tudor in the first place. If they wanted De Zerbi in the summer, why the hell are you hiring Frank?
Look, the way it is, Rubai, I'll be straight. They didn't spend in January, and now they're having to spend. It's as simple as that.
It's the dumbest thing.
And they've literally, like, I see this as a bit like what Vinay did at Arsenal, because they didn't want Unai, they wanted Arteta kind of situation, and they didn't get Arteta straight away. They had to go halfway during the season and go get him. So Vinay's doing it again. But in this sense, they've made so many mistakes, him and Lange together, as people have said. We're now in a situation where if they don't fix it, and they've got to fix it quickly, we are going down. Like, we're literally going to lose a shitload of money.
Look,
going to become
we could not get the Zerbi in, yeah, and we could go get like a Sean Dyche, even though Sean Dyche wants a minimum of 18 months. Like, do you know what I'm saying? So that kind of interrupts that whole, like, you know, get him in for a few games and then in summer we'll look for more managers. Sean Dyche doesn't want to come in for short term. He wants sureties that he gets a longer contract. So if it's between Sean Dyche and the Zerbi, footballing wise, I'm like, there's not much in it because one's ultra defensive and one's ultra attacking, in it. Do you get it? So it's almost like them men are just flipping the dice and they're like, look, we might as well get the Zerbi in. That's the guy we wanted. if we're going to go for a manager that's going to go past the 6 games or 7 games, how much it is, you might as well go with the Zerbi, innit? Do you know what I mean? I think that's how they've landed at the Zerbi. Because he plays to the DNA, that he plays the what people want, triangles, play, possession, and then obviously in summer, if we do stick with him, this is basically his pre-season, because in the World Cup, you don't get that much of a pre-season anyway. So then now we've got a manager. Remember with Frank, we got him in late. So Man United, Amarin really had the race on us. He was able to get Mbumo. That's how Mbumo was like. Obviously, he wanted to go Man United anyway. But you get my point, where a manager comes in a little bit later, and then when you're going to fish for players, the players are like, "Wow, who's in charge? What's the manager? How can you sell the project when the manager ain't there already?" With the Zerbi, at least he's got a little something about him. Do you know what I mean? But again, the risk, I know what you're going to say, is that's assuming we stay up. Because if we're in the championship, he's going to keep it moving. And then we're going to have to pay out. Me personally, I'm not pocket watching. I don't care. Do what it takes, innit? It's not my money. Personally. Like, obviously, I do pay to go watch games, but it's not my money like where I'm pocket watching saying, how much is he paying?
Yeah, so at this present moment, it's like I personally wouldn't want to pay the Zerbi this amount, but I'm now in like I've always going to say, we're in a situation where you have no other choice. If you want to stay up and he's the best available, or you think he's the best available, and that's the guy you want to back on the horse, you've got to do anything to go and get him. Just because if he keeps us up, no matter if he stays 18 months, 2 years, or 6 months, the revenue that we're going to get from being in the Premier League is so different to what it's going to be in the Championship for them.
Or you could do like what people were saying, you get the Ben Davies in. You know what I'm saying? Or you get the Ryan Mason. Ben man will call it from Mason, you know. Mason could work. But then
this is the bigger picture with this though is that okay, fine. You pay the money to get the Zerbi, you deal with all the backlash, we stay up.
Yep.
What confidence do you man have that Vinay and Johan will do the right things in the summer to make this work? What confidence?
Not a lot.
What confidence?
I've already said. The confidence is that, man, I don't know how many times I have to repeat myself. ENIC has no choice. They don't have a choice. They can't hide. ENIC, listen. What I'm trying to tell you, what I'm trying to say is,
this angle because
let me finish. Just let me finish.
Saw Levy go in August. They said it's gonna be better now. Things are gonna change. We're gonna see a new Tottenham. September came and went. Nothing really changed. January came and went. Nothing really changed. Tottenham are now 17th, going on 18th. In the league, and we don't have no Europe to back us. We don't have no Europa League run to now tell us, okay, plus we have as many injuries as we did. What is giving you the confidence that we're going to suddenly be doing things any differently than the way that we've been doing it? Because just because they said, oh, we're going to increase the transfer wage, just because we're going to start buying more of these different players. But everyone said that Levy was holding us back. Levy's been gone basically a year now. Who's really holding us back?
He only left in September.
Who's really holding us back?
I've already said.
But Oren is kind of well, this is the issue you've got. If they're bringing in De Zerbi, there is no way in hell, considering he's past form, that they can sit on their hands.
Hey man,
I'm not talking about.
I would love to see it.
I completely get what you're saying. But the thing is, Oren's right, because this is the moment for ENIC, because everyone's starting to slowly look at ENIC in a slightly different. And this is not the ones that want ENIC out already. These are the people that have said
the new ones
that are going. Hold on,
the fence.
Yeah. Now they're starting to turn because they're like, hold on. Like you said, January came and went. That was the time. That was the time for all of us for them to know.
The person that I was told that is going to be the beacon of the new move forward is Conor Gallagher.
But what I've been trying to tell you is, right, is Levy, I've always said it, and I've said it on the stream. Me and Marlon has had many arguments about it. I said, yes, Levy's responsible, but I'm always going to believe, and this has backed me up, that Lang and Vinay are just the front. They're the face. They're the ones sitting in the chair box. They're the ones fans look at and go, you're shit, you're shit, you're shit. ENIC hide behind them. Enoch hid behind Levy, and they go to Enoch and say, right, this is the players we need. And they go, right, release a PR. So Lang sits there, or Vinnan sits there and go, we will do this, we will do that. Okay, are we going to actually do it? Let's see what happens. Enoch has to do it. There is absolutely no hiding now. They could hide behind Daniel Levy when Daniel Levy said, if you listen to Daniel Levy's time, he said, we want to get Spurs to top 4. They achieved that with Poch. That was never broke that mold. Top 4. And basically built a stadium. But like when he went to Enoch and says, can I have the funds to do this? Enoch went, no. Harry Redknapp, I think Marlon said Harry Redknapp like got a phone call from Joe Lewis at one point. Don't play Robbie Keane. So basically, like what I've always believed is that the board members of Enoch has always said, say this to make us look good. We'll throw 200 million in to make us look good. But when it comes to the real players, when it comes to the real time, it's, oh no. Because Enoch, as a corporation, has done what it's meant to have done. Enoch is a corporation that takes football clubs and build them. Hotels, revenues, NFL games. So technically, Enoch has accomplished that. But what Enoch now wants is to have the football because the family, who's taken over Vivian Lewis and all that, blame the dad. Oh, it was Joe Lewis who was holding Spurs back. It was this, but now they're the board members. So now when Vivian and Lang goes, right, we've got these profile players, they're going to cost this much. They're like, can you lower it a little bit? We're like, no, because you've said this. It's like if you have a job and you're promising your staff something, and then you go back to your boss and he changes the game plan, or what is it, change the goalpost, you have to go back to your staff and go, listen, guys, I know I told you that we'd get a wage hike if we accomplish this goal, but the boss has now told me not to. You're going to be the one who starts getting hated because you're going to want has to motivate it. So again, I am not saying Daniel Levy wasn't at fault in this in 25 years, but I'm saying what has shown me is that Enoch was always behind this. And like I've said, if Frank was still finished 4th or 5th or 6th, nothing would have happened. They would have went, it's okay, look, we just buy another 50-man player or whatever. But because of this has happened, because remember when Enoch said this in January, we'll break the wage bank and do all this, was because Spurs were in a bad predicament. So it was again to get the fans on their sides. Fans are not going to forget this. And now it's got the World Cup. World Cup's being played nighttime. So the fans during the day will be sitting there going, right, Enoch, this is on you now. No more Daniel Levy, no more anything. What?
And there's going to be no Poch either.
And no Poch. So if Enoch is fucking not getting Poch in. Zerbi goes in, 60 million, and he goes, right, you have to give me players. Because yeah, I know the history of the club. If you don't give me players, I'll just turn this whole place against you. And the fans are very, very, they're not even close. They're there. They want, Enoch is going to get it next season if Spurs stay up.
Yeah.
As soon as they fuck up.
Yeah, the reality is they have to. I just don't trust Vinay and the other guy to be able to get the right players. Personally, I would rather have different people making those decisions. But I do think they have to now because they want to sell the club as well. You cannot sell a club that's finishing 17th, 16th. They actually have to. Yeah. Now, whether those players will be players that we want and like, whatever, cool, whatever. Do you know what I mean? We'll see. But they went out and spent on Xavi. They went out and spent on Connor, whatever. It's not a great run so far, but they are going to have to spend money because you cannot finish 17th and then spend 100 mil. I mean, you can't do that because it's clear that certain players are ready to move on. It's clear that certain players should move on, you know, and we need a lot more to be able to survive. Now, they're going to have to be smart with it. You know, there's still cash flow issues, whatever. Have to be smart. We've got the PSR kind of buffer because we can kind of go up to a certain point, you know, with the financials, but it's just the way we structure these deals that's always been what holds us back over the past few years. But we should go and get the talent that we need. You know, goalkeeper, probably another midfielder, left back, probably a striker because one of them will leave, if not two, you know. And I think that will also help the fact that hopefully we can generate some sales for, you know, from the players who want to move on or need to move on, and then we get the get the squad into a much healthier place.
We basically need to do what Man United did, but they didn't change Almiron. That was their only mistake. But they went and bought the players to kind of go, all right, this still be areas because they didn't score any goals last year. So they went and fixed the forward line. Their goalkeeper was a nightmare with Onana. They went and fixed their goalkeeper. The problem was Almiron, because he wouldn't change his formation. And that's why, even though Carrick's not the greatest manager in the world, but Carrick's all he's done is just made it simple for them. And maybe now, look, unfortunately, Zerbi might be the right man. I know he's chaos, but he might be the right man for this circus, what's going on anyway. We just don't know.
That's a very good point. Very good point.
Just about
again, he's only a chaos. Like, the only time he's been chaos is because when he's been pissed off with the board not supporting him. So if the ENIC know that we've got a manager here that will go off, we can't afford that.
He's a ticking time bomb.
Yeah, but as long as you keep backing
guys, like, wait, let me caveat this, because is there a world where the board come in and they promise, like Tops was saying, yeah, we're going to spend 250 million on this squad now, and fans don't protest? I know we're saying fans are there now and they're ready, but is there a world where fans don't take to the street?
No, look, the fans are not going to take to the street no matter what. Well, that's just not what us Tottenham fans do. No matter how much we want to put it, no matter what we want to do, we've got it.
Are Warriors then? Are we just?
We're just going to keep going, but in the sense of you cannot if they want to do it or not, they have to do something. You cannot finish 17th and possibly 17th again. There's no way out.
What I'm saying is, because
especially after January,
they could spend 200 mil, 250, and everyone's like, oh, finally, they're back. We're doing the right thing. And then it comes to January or it comes to next summer, and we do the same thing again.
Yeah, but it depends on.
But that's been needed for years.
The thing is, some fans, and this is regardless of whatever club, they'll always want more. Always want more and more and more and more and more. So basically, they have to get it right and bring in the right players. And basically, the right players will cost a certain value and break the wage structure and get that team going. And as far as like fans protesting, well, yeah, like, I don't think fans can bother. I think fans all across football, I think there's more important things to think about right now. Like flipping gas prices are rising, oil prices are rising. So when it comes to protesting, I think fans are realizing they can protest all they want. They can hold banners up. The only thing left for them to prove a point is to basically stay behind the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and burn it to the ground. That's the only thing fans can do. Or like I said, find the ENIC Corporation and fucking burn that to the ground.
The only reason why is because fans have spoken about protesting. Do you understand?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Fans are always going to talk about protesting.
Spurs fans are not going to protest.
But but I'm saying
people are relative to protest about anything. It's
but Spurs fans are not going to. We have clearly shown as a club and as a fan base, and we're all included, we're not going to protest. So protest is just out the window because it's not a thing that we do. Other clubs will do it. We won't.
So what I'm saying is people online, and I know it's rubbish here, but people online are saying we can't protest yet because we're still playing games, isn't it? That's the narrative. We just have to get behind the players, isn't it? And
we missed the window for protest.
If for example, if we were to win our next 3 games, for example, we won our next 3 games, and it just looked like, right, we're safe now. We're all but safe. Is there a world where you think fans will turn around and say, yeah, you know what? We're safe now.
It's obsession protesting.
Spurs are not protesting no matter what situation we're in. Spurs fans are not protesting.
I'm just saying, some of them are saying that they're going to protest.
Okay, but Ash, it's
not me that's saying it.
It doesn't matter.
We've always right time to protest. Right now, we've got to do the festival thing.
I've come to a realization. I have come to a realization as a Spurs fan. Okay, and this is where I'm at. Sean is technically right. It's only 3,000 is the most they've got for a protest.
Yeah.
When you think about that for a match day, that's not many. So all them other fans are not on it. They're not on it. But when it's something positive, people want to bring positive vibes. When they want to bring something positive, like the team bus thing last week, look how many people turned out for that. So I think what we have to get past is protesting is just not going to happen with Tottenham fans. It's just not what we're going to do. Okay, but how we show our displeasure is, and as we've always seen, is we don't turn up to games. Like for a Champions League game to be half sold, this is what Spurs fans, this is how they show. But unfortunately, I'm getting to it's never going to happen. Billy T and everyone like that change for Tottenham. I get what they're trying to do, and it's look, and I want ENIC gone as well, but they're never going to get that many Spurs fans on side. So the protesting is gone. So as for ENIC and Levy this summer, ENIC will have to spend. I do believe ENIC have to spend. If they don't, we're not doing anything about it. We're just going to sit there and turn up to games like we normally do.
Cool. Fair enough.
It's true.
It doesn't change. The protest is never.
No, listen. I was bringing it up because that's what the rhetoric was online. So I just thought, let me.
Yeah, but we have to bring the two worlds together. We do have to bring
reality and fantasy.
Reality and you always get. It's always a thing. It's everywhere. You'll get more people moaning online, but actually, when you face up to it, I think the best thing about that is have you ever seen the meme with the two dogs where behind the closed gate they're barking at each other? And as soon as you open the gate and they face each other, they're just looking at each other. That is exactly what it's like. The online space is different to.
Why the fans are just barking? They ain't got no right.
And this is the problem. And this is always going to be the issue. It's an uphill battle, right? For every single protest, I've ended up doing We Are Tottenham TV. So I've not been to one of them because I've allowed Ben and Sim to go. Okay, because they've got tickets and stuff and they need someone to do the studio. So that's on me as well.
Every single one.
This is a cost to go protest.
No, every single it's really weird. Every single one I've ended up doing We Are Tottenham TV.
You have to buy tickets. Wait, you have to buy tickets to go protest?
No, they end up.
No.
But it's a case of
just turn up.
You just turn up. But it's just one of them I couldn't really attend because I knew where I was. I was somewhere different. But every single other one I've allowed Sim and Ben to do. That's what they go and do their things. So I've always been on We Are Tottenham TV, but unfortunately, when you look at this club, I think the last time that this club's had a proper protest was in the Sugar days.
Yeah.
Remember that shit.
So I think when we're talking about protests,
working class man, then.
I think that's all dead because we're not together. Like I think everyone has said, and this is when Top said earlier, we're divided as a fan base. Even on this manager appointment right now, we are still divided. We just don't agree on anything.
No, let's get back to that though, because the Zerbi, do you think he actually wants to be here? Because Top Sport spoke about the money situation, and he was trying to make a point there. I thought, do you think
for 15 mil, for 12, 15 mil a year, whatever he's getting, he does want to be here.
Yeah,
he didn't. Yesterday he didn't. Trust me, I guarantee you. 2 days ago he didn't.
Right, he might want to see that contract out for that money.
Like you said, Ash, money talks.
I'm telling this. My man was saying relegation battle. That's not his ego. Is the size of the world. That's not him. And then he said, "How about this money? No. How about this money? No. How about this money?" All of a sudden, breakthrough in negotiations.
Yeah, I know I can talk now.
Yeah, but they can't. However, with all that, they can't bring us a left winger in January.
Yeah.
Negotiations always break down when it's players, but when it's managers, they always getting top dollar.
And to be fair, that's been an ENIC thing. That's been an ENIC thing. Yeah. ENIC have always paid for managers. Like I know when they've always paid
all of a sudden, no cash flow issue. We're paying. I think we're paying off Frank. We might even probably still be paying off and. Right.
Still.
Tudor probably got funeral costs paid. Rest in peace. Right. And here we are.
Hey, Nuno's probably getting money from us still too.
Right. And he's going to keep West Ham up or whatever. Nah, man.
Can I ask a football question, guys? Who do you think will play in that midfield in terms of for the Zerbi? I haven't really heard it you guys answer.
Can I answer because I have to go after it, please. If he plays a 3, I think it's going to be Joe Polina, Conor Gallagher, and Xavi. Again, it's based on experience. Maybe Archie Gray over Conor Gallagher. It just depends. But I think the way he looks at it is what I need experienced players in there. And as Gray has stepped up, yes. But I think when you look at it, I think Polina is a destroyer. He can break up tackles and all, which he wants. And Connor, he sees like a work engine. And basically it's like, I've looked at Sarr, I think Sarr just, there's something like he doesn't do enough for this time. And that's, I think that's what he was brought in for, like Conor Gallagher, like, because Bentancur wasn't there. But yeah, it's like, I think that's what he's going to play. Because he always plays with a number 10. So that's like Xavi's going to play. So it's about, like I said, he might play. I think Bergville's just back from injury. But if you're going for an experienced midfield, players who've done it before and you can count on, those are the three I would pick. Again, it's no disrespect to, like, Marlon will tell you I'm a big Archie Gray fan. I think he's great. And he's done really well. That's why I picked between him and Conor Gallagher. Bergville, I don't think he's fit, and I don't think his mind is ready for the battle that's to come. Because, like I said, it's this experience.
He came on against Nottingham Forest as a right.
How well did he do?
He came as a right, like Gallagher. Remember, you said Gallagher.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He didn't play well. Exactly. That's my point, though. It's like, if you're, all that matters is that, like, he plays these players in the right position. And
all right, do you think? Right, this is a caveat. Sorry, I know you want to go, but just a quick one. Do you think he was playing a box midfield? That's because obviously that's what the Zerbi does. So rather than Bergville was playing out wide, he tucked in and he played like almost like 2 8s and then 2 double pivots behind.
When was this?
Against Forest, didn't it? Because Forest, it seemed
like.
But
the thing is with Bergville, he only played like what, 25 minutes of. He wasn't fully fit, so he came out, played out of position, and he could tell he wasn't fully fit. Like all the Spurs goals, or the 2 Spurs goals that came on after him and down the right side because he wasn't fully fit to track back. So again, I'm not blaming Bergville as such. I'm just saying, like,
you blame Tudor for bringing him up.
Yeah.
Hey, coach, what's going on? You talk about your guy recklessly, man. What's going on?
No, again, I'm not. No, Bergville. Like I said, I think Bergville's a great player. But if you're asking a player to come on who's unfit to play as a right winger, who hasn't played, like, when was the last time Bergville played? Can't even remember.
You're totally right, and he was out of position and he was unfit. But let me tell you something, right? And Tops will tell you, last year, I told everyone, we go as Bergville goes, right? When he was playing well, he pushed our team. Mm-hmm. At the same time, because of the injury situation, I don't think he starts in the next week or two. But he'll be a good player to come off the bench. I agree that Paulinho will probably play, right? But it'll be Gray next to him.
Yep.
Because he'll go into training and he'll be doing his technical and he'll realise Gray can do it. Gray can do that.
That would be good too.
So I would say Paulinho and Gray, and then it's up for grabs. If Xavi Simon's putting a bit of weight over,
in that system that he plays, where does Paulinho play?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go. Right. See you later.
Oh, they are.
Nice. Right.
They're in a double pivot. You pick whatever role. Do you know what I mean? Paulinho's not going to be going forward, all the time. And I think he may have to be a little bit more reserved. But what we do know about Gray can receive the ball and make that pass. He can move the ball quicker. If he's not going to be carrying it as much, and he can move it quick enough.
And with Gray, what my biggest gripe with Gray is when he's defending and off the ball, he won't have to do that because Paulinho will be there to protect the defence. So Gray will get to play how he's played the last 2 games and literally just be going forward.
And also, on the last 2 games, Gray's been brilliant defensively. So I'm not sure why.
No. But
you want to get Gray's defensive, right? At right back, right? The thing is, what's been good for
No. So what I've always said is Gray lets the third man. He always lets people pass him and people go. The last 2 games, I've said, and I've openly admitted on here because I don't like him. I think when it comes to his defensive side of his job, he's never been great. And against Atletico Madrid, they didn't play that extra man behind in that number 10 role, was the reason why he was able to excel in the role that he did. And he was on the ball a lot more. I've always been Gray on the ball, needs to get on the ball a lot more. But when it comes to letting people go and pass and whatnot, I thought he was always at a stage where I was like, no, he can't be a defensive midfielder. And I still don't think he can be a defensive midfielder. Against Nottingham Forest, I can't really judge him because he got injured and he should have probably come off at half time. I don't think he was fully fit in that second half because as soon as Bergvall came on and he then had to be the defensive man, all of them went missing. He weren't just him, but defensively, so him and Sarr were completely missing. So for me, until I see Gray have a proper run where I can see a 3 or 4 games, 5 where he's consistent, and when they do have a number 10, okay, because that was the thing Gibbs White played, and when they do have a number 10, I wanted to see Gray be able to play exactly how he did against Atletico. But I've seen it once.
So tell you something. What happened with Atletico? Yeah, they may not have played with a 10 or whatever, but he also has someone next to him who's working as a partnership. When
this is why Paulinho will be the man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But when they're getting actually Gray's defensive tracking third man runs, when he played in an system where he was literally by himself covering, if he was playing as a 6, which he didn't really.
No, he played centre back.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And he got caught out a lot because there was a lot of times he got caught out. Because he's not centre back. Yeah,
he shouldn't be the last man.
Yeah, but again,
I'm saying for me, right, if you put him in the middle, okay, in an actual functional midfield, we have seen, and that's one thing that Tudor did. He got the midfield a little bit more functional. He had people in their proper roles. Sarr and Gray as a double, whatever it was, right, in the 4-4-2. And all of a sudden, we look like we can build, hold on to the ball, and progress things a little bit better, right?
Did we?
And did it better than listen. Okay, the bar was very low.
But the bar. That's what I'm saying. The bar was very low, and I think this is the problem at the moment with Gray, because the bar is so low. We're looking at Gray going, yeah, he's this, that, and the other. But I don't think if we want to go to that next level, Gray's not it either.
Wow.
Where would you compare? Here's a question. Where would you compare Gray to an Alex Scott?
Who? Alex Scott from Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Alex Scott is a Spurs fan. He should remain that. I don't think he should be a Spurs player. He's a Spurs fan.
You think Scott's better than? Gray's better than Scott. You think Scott more?
Yeah, I do. And again, if I'm going into FA Cup semi-final, okay, against, let's say it's Liverpool, I don't think Scott should be playing. I think Archie Gray should be playing in that game. So that's where I see it. Do you know what I mean? And that's always been my metric in terms of what players should we really be going after. Even if the bar was low, whatever, we looked much better because they're playing in the right positions. Even when he played there under Ange, even though Ange's midfield was so chaotic and things were moving about and there was no cover, right? He has the ability to do that. And what we have learned, and why the reason why centre back and right back was good for him, even though he made certain mistakes, right, was because he's now got an appreciation for 1v1s. He's got an appreciation in wider areas, which is what, as a 6 or even playing in that pivot, you're going to need to be able to do. Right, you're going to need to go out into those spaces, like I say, though, and break up the play and recycle it and move it on. And he's got better at that over the past 18 months. We've literally seen the progression, even in such a dysfunctional Spurs side over the past couple of years. Same thing with Bergvall. When Bergvall first started playing at 8, his decision-making was even worse than it is now, right? But he's got better and better. We're seeing there are times where he can play less touches, but then also there's times where he's been put on the left wing. And you're like, Thomas Frank, what are you doing?
So would you play him with Gray and Bergvall or not?
Not yet. Because I need to go to Sunderland away. Do you know what I mean? And right now, I'm probably going to need João Palhinha's expertise, his presence, his reading of the game, okay, to settle. So it'll be him and Gray, right? And then whoever is your forward 8 or 10, whatever you want to call it, if it's Xavi, then brother, you need to start creating. Okay, and I think Xavi would play better, because we've seen it in the national team. We've seen it at every other team that he's been at, when he's actually got 2 wingers. Not a striker.
The way you're talking, is Gray going to be our best midfielder? Because that's how you're kind of framing it.
He's been our best midfielder anyway.
He has been.
He's been Panina had a good run to start, but then Ben took probably let him down. But he's been one of our better midfielders.
Now I can see why we ain't won no games.
No. It's because you watch him play, right? The reason why we ain't won no games is because when Gray gets the ball, he looks forward and he sees Richarlison playing off a centre back, Solanke not making any runs. There's no winger on this side, and we've got maybe a faux left winger on the other side. What am I supposed to do with that? So recycle. When Tell started getting busy, right, against Forest or whoever it was, then you see great. Okay, right, now we're moving the ball quicker. Bergvall had one of his best games, even though it was an absolute dire game. Top scenario there, Crystal Palace away, right? He had one of his best games because Kudus and him were just linking up. That's what these players need. They are combination players. When you sign them and see how they play for their previous teams, they're combination players, and put them in a team where no one's moving, no one's trying to receive the ball, in a style of play where you're just hitting it long or go too direct. It's not going to bring out the best of them.
You think then, in the Zerbi system right now, well, not right now, sorry, next season, because the summer's going to happen, we don't need to recruit in that area where Archie Gray is?
No, we do. We always do.
There's also a profile issue though that we're missing as well. Like I feel like he fulfills a specific kind of profile, as does a player like Palinia, as does a player like Bergvall, and I feel like there is still a profile that we are missing at the moment. But I feel like he can play in a number of different roles, and we've seen that he can play in a number of different roles. Like I think he's been the least of our problems. If I'm going to be so real with you, to be honest with you, I feel like there's still such. I mean, Dave knows exactly how I feel about Gray. I've talked so highly about him as a young player from when he was playing right back for like 75% of the season at Leeds. I really do feel like this is a player that still has so much to give, and we're not even touching the surface with what I think he can give us. But the one thing that I can admit, and I can say that I've maybe probably got a bit wrong, is that you may be giving him too much too early. I feel like
that's where I'm at.
I feel like he's a 19-year-old who clearly has ability, similar to Bergvall. These guys clearly have ability, but they're not supposed to be the guys that you're thrusting into the stage, in the big lights, in some games. I don't think in all.
I agree.
Because when I looked at Bergvall last season in some points in Europa League, I looked at him at Galatasaray and I was like, maybe he might not be ready. But then I also looked at him at Liverpool in the semi-final, and I'm like, okay, I think he's ready.
That was one of his best games, actually.
I looked at Gray at Everton away under Ange, and I'm like, damn, maybe this ain't it. But I looked at Archie Gray against Atletico in the Champions League, and I'm like, oh, he's more than ready. You know, so I think
the only thing is that I say with Gray is Bergvall went and proved after that he could. Gray, we've only seen 2 games since. It'd be interesting to see how the next, now that Zerbi's in, another coach, another manager, how these players then start to adapt. Because this is the one thing I do say to myself, it's not really their fault, because they've had to go and play for three different managers already. Maybe they're going on to 4. How are you supposed to settle?
Yeah, exactly. How you supposed to learn the game that you?
I don't think Archie Gray long term, and I'll stand by this. I don't think Archie Gray will be a defensive midfielder for a top club. I think he's a very good right back, and that one thing I do agree with. But I don't think he's a very good defensive midfielder. A DM, if that's the role he's asking for, I don't think he'll ever make it at the top level, because I think he's too inconsistent. He's going to be too inconsistent in that role. And
well, don't you think the Zerbi could?
He's not even played there.
But he's been playing it for the last month or so. He has been,
and the 2 games were fine. 2 out of 4, whatever. Right. So you're going to get an inconsistent from a 19-year-old who's not been playing in his best position for 18 months. The last time he played centre mid consistently was at his last club, probably.
Did you know that Declan Rice, when he went to Arsenal, had represented West Ham more times at centre back than at midfield, but he went for 100 million as a midfielder.
And it's not about comparing the two. But I'm saying
you haven't even seen what he can actually do in a settled team that supports the ability that he has.
So the issue then you've got is that at Spurs we're never going to be a settled team now.
Why not?
Because we haven't shown it for the last 5 years.
I mean,
like you said,
yeah, but this
is now your issue. Because is he at the wrong club? Is he at the wrong club then? Because they're never going to be in a settled side. If the Spurs keep carrying on the way they are, as we have done, they're never going to be in a settled side.
I think arguably we were at one point told that this was the direction that the club was going in. That we're going to be signing these high potential young players to development in a way that they can be built into the first team alongside experienced guys. And unfortunately, those experienced guys haven't turned up or have been injured. And it's these young guys that we bought as potential that have been forced to step up. Like, I like Gray, I like Bergvall, But right now, they're not the guys that should be starting. And unfortunately, I feel like they're being judged in situations that they don't deserve to be judged in.
And that's my point. I'm looking at him going, right, he's done as best as he could in an unsettled side or unsettled tactics, whatever the case would be, different tactical styles. He's proved himself to a certain point, okay? You buy these young players, you bring them in the next two better players. What we've done is we've bought these young players and done hodgepodge. This is why I said build around your Gray and Bergvall. If you think Gray is going to be at a certain point by the time he gets to 23, okay, in the next 2 to 3 years or whatever it is, that he, however old he is, if you think he's going to get there, go and get Edison from Atalanta and put him next to him in midfield. Because that guy he's been there, he's played at top level, he's played in the Champions League, he's got legs by him, he's got some tactical new, put him next to him. And you say, right, Gray, you're going to have at least a year and a bit to develop even further in your preferred position. It's not like we don't rate you and we're buying someone to replace you, because that's the Spurs fans thinking. We go, oh, if it's not him, we've got to replace him. No, how about you just get someone to play alongside him and bring up their level? So our midfield then has an Edison, Gray, a Bergvall. If we keep, Bentancur will obviously still be around. He'll be there, right? I don't like Gallagher, but he's probably still going to be there. Maybe Sarwiz is the one to go, but you get quality around them so that they develop in their preferred position. You don't go, I'm going to fling you in, like the first game you played there was against Crystal Palace for Ange, right? And you just flung him in. The team had no structure. Like, literally, it was a hodgepodge of whoever didn't play on Thursday.
So you're essentially saying the fans have judged them on an unfair circumstance and a shaky foundation, pretty much.
Yeah. And listen, I think he's done all right with that. And there's been some moments where he's been really high, some moments where he's been really low. But he's a young player, so he's going to have a bit of that. Do you know what I mean? Just like Vuskovic, when he comes in next year, he's not going to be world changing. He may change our destiny because he's a top talent. Do you know what I mean? You can see it. But he will get found out. Isak may spin him a couple of times. Do you know what I mean? Gabby Jesus. Gabby Jesus
said that he's not ready for the Premier League, though. He's
but again, so if we bring these players in, we have to have the patience, but at the same time, you build squads that are good enough to do that. Like, everyone was slagging off Matisse Tell last year. And then he turns around and goes, well, actually, I've played at Bayern Munich. I've played in teams that have been competing for things, whether it be Champions League, titles, etc. I've got something in me that I can actually put out there and try to drag you back into some of these games. So yes, he was unlucky against Nottingham Forest, but what's he doing? Getting on the ball and taking shots, right? When we haven't seen that from a winger in long.
Do you think Tel can help us stay up? Then you think he's a player
right now? Yes, because it's about combinations and profiles, right? You think about it, you get if I'm putting out a team that has a Palhinha, Gray, let's say Xavi is playing. I don't really like him as a 10 explicitly right now in the Prem, but if it's as a high 8, a bit like how Odegaard plays that 8 role, okay, which I said this before, he should be playing that role anyway. If he's there, then I need to now put technical players around him who can do the combination play and love to do that. Right, get on the ball, open up defenses, 1-2s around the corner. The players that will do that will be a Kudus on one side and it'll be Tel on the other side. Because they're either going to go 1v1, right? Or it's going to be, combination play and then through balls, etc. And then you've got Solanke, who, when you look at all his Bournemouth highlights, how many goals did he score when you were smashing it over and he's got to hold it up against the defender? Hardly any. But what he did do, I'm playing on the shoulder, can you do a bit of combination and slip it through? So do that. Literally do that for your best players. Right? If it's Richarlison, it's a different style. You get out wide and you cross. But Tel's not a good crosser like that, right? To be as direct as we need him to be. Kudus is decent enough, but as we know, he takes too many touches. So my thing is this. You need to make sure that whatever you do, you get the best out of the 11 that you're going to go with, the 14 you're going to go with. If it's a technical style, which I think Zerbi is going to bring in, you need those type of players on the pitch. For me, I know Spence hasn't been great, right? And he has had some shockers of late. But if you're going for a technical style, Spence has to play over Porro. Why? Because Porro loses track of the game. So I'm thinking Spence may be a bit more of a secure option.
So
right?
if the Zerbi plays Porro over Spence, are you looking at him sideways? Because I think he's going to play Porro. in possession, I can see a 3-2-5 where Poro's deployed a little bit deeper. You know what I'm saying? And he's going to be the more technical player.
He's going to play pro because he's the passer.
Yeah, exactly. He's that.
Marlon, that's a great point, Marlon. That's a great point. And you know what the great thing about that is? He shouldn't be. He can pass.
No. And this is the thing.
He can hit a good pass. He can hit a good pass. But the fact that the past 18 months we've made him into something that he's not, right? He is not Trent. Let's be real, okay? As much as he's probably the next one after that in the league, it still is a massive gap. There's Trent, and then him. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's be real about this. So, from my perspective, as much as he can hit the good cross 1 in 12, okay, and he loves it.
Good enough,
right? But my thing is this: I'm like, that's great, but what about when the ball's coming flying over your head and you can't track it? Because as a defender, you need to be able to do that. What about when you're 1v1 against a
Spence? Yeah, but Spence is quite bad at that as well. To be fair,
but that's what I'm saying. He's not been as good, right? And he's dropped off. But I still would prefer him better.
I understand why you. I understand why everyone wants Spence.
I can see Paul starting.
Apparently, Spence. I think a lot of people fail to realise Spence can actually cross, but he just hasn't had the chance to Tottenham to do it.
Yeah, and also if you're going to have a Kudus in front, Kudus loves combination play. Do combination so I can isolate my fullback, right? Poro just as soon as he gets the ball, he just launch, right? It's nasty, right? So I'm thinking if I'm. You know, I know Ash loves to ask these questions. Who would be your starting 11? It'll be Brandon Austin in goal. Yes, I said it.
I can't get on board with that. Understand what you're saying, but I can't get on board with that.
I know, Marlon.
Yeah, you need to.
Marlon, that was for you. That was for you, Marlon. that was for the Bird chat. Anyway.
Moving reckless.
Yeah.
Shots fired.
Give me Spence. Give me Spence. It will be Romero Van de Ven, and I don't see why not. Listen, if you can get
Who's your left back?
Destiny for 60 minutes.
Destiny.
For 60 minutes. And then it's even that Sousa kid, he looked like he can play that technical. He can, he's Brazilian. He has that.
Hold on. I have to stop it. I have to hold you. So you two, yeah, right? You both said, yeah, about Lange. But all I've done in this episode, all you've done is bring up his players and how good they are.
Yeah,
is he the problem?
He's had some hits. Don't get me wrong.
It seems like he's having more hits than not at the moment with you lot.
Listen,
the man of Lange has some hits. Right?
I can never.
No, get him out, man. Get him out, man.
Listen,
get him out, man. Get him on my face.
You've got to look at it both ins and outs. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Giving certain players have extensions. I don't think Bentancur should have got an extension just yet.
I agree.
I think we went too quick on that. I think even the Romero deal, I think we sweetened it a bit too much with the captaincy, all those kind of things.
Yep.
Apparently, with Romero, it's down to the clauses from Real Madrid and Atletico. The reason why he signed it. 60 million.
Definitely. I don't think that was a Tottenham deal. That was an Atletico Madrid stay away deal. Definitely.
But he's put a clause in it. So Real Madrid, Atletico can pay 60 million for him, and they have to accept it. Atletico ain't got 60 million,
they ain't got that money.
They ain't got that money.
I think they can find it, though.
They could find it if they needed to. But
It's,
I think Real Madrid and one other club, I don't know who the other club was. There's 3 clubs that were allowed to. They get him for 60 million.
Atletico, let's say Barcelona, maybe.
Another club that can't. It might be Barcelona. It was Real Madrid. Real Madrid.
Yeah. So listen, it'll be those two at the back. Udogie hopefully for 60 minutes, if not Sousa, because I want a left. I want someone who's left. To play with a left foot. Because it'd be quite nice. It'd be quite nice to actually attack down the left and see that you can actually go that way and not have to cut inside and be predictable. Because what do we play up against in the Prem? Midfields are very functional and they'll cut off all the space. So if you can't get down wide when you need to get to the byline for a cutback, all those kind of things, and have that option, and you're screwed. Okay, so
But don't you
hopefully
question his decision making sometimes with Doggy, because he can do the ball
yeah,
carry.
definitely. Oh, definitely.
He gets on my nerves. Once he gets in that box, he gets on my nerves. He gets in so many wonderful positions, but he ends up just, I don't know what he ends up doing, to be fair.
Yeah, I get it.
I think people forget he's had such like career-changing surgery in the last 2 years, man.
Yeah, too.
He really has, man. Like,
yeah, but that doesn't do with his decision making. That's more to do with
and to be honest, even before that, his decision making was
I feel like he's lost confidence in his body. And
I do, because he doesn't get in certain positions as he used to.
He's overthinking some of the decisions that I think maybe came quite innate.
No, but he used to do it before he got injured.
Yeah. I hear that as a criticism. I like Udoji, you know.
I do like him, but I just, when he gets in that final third, I kind of go, what are you doing? And it's not like, and he used to like beginning.
Could that not improve with coaching? Could that not like improve that? Because decision making that can be coached.
Yeah,
no?
but not in 9 days.
Yeah, it can be if they tell him to put in a certain position. Because obviously Postecoglou was like, put it across the box to Brennan, and Udogie kind of get it right sometimes, not all the time. But now, like, I think it was in the last game where he went running down the left and then he lost it, and I'm pretty sure that Forrest went down the other end and scored, if I remember correctly, from him just making the wrong decision when he got into the box.
Yeah, I think so.
I think they did. I think it was the second goal. I can't remember which one it was, but I was with you, remember? And I went,
yeah.
I was with you. So,
wait, how old is he? 24.
He's young. He's still got time. He can be a very good left back. He just hasn't shown. I think he showed early on what he could do. I think you're right about the injuries. But when it comes to him, when he gets into that, I think it's when he gets into the box is where I have my problems with him.
Yeah, it's the box. That's the issue. I mean, overlapping, underlapping, he can do it.
He's good at. He can do
it. He's strong on the ball. Do you understand?
Yeah, and just to answer something from the comments, why put Gallagher on 200k not to play? That's not my problem. I'm sorry, that's not my problem anymore. I'm trying to win games. Okay.
Yeah, man.
That's not my problem. I'm sorry. He's got that money. Fantastic. I'm happy for him. Set up his family. Go to a nice private school if he's got kids. Yeah. Lovely. Okay.
He's putting it back into Chelsea. They need the money. Right. Their next loan player paid for by they're paying off the fine.
Yeah, and then listen.
It's his life, man, and he ain't even playing, man.
Yeah, I'll go with like I said, Palhinha, Bergvall, and Javi, and then Solanke.
Up to Archie.
Kudus is back.
Up to Archie.
Up to Archie, bro.
What did I say?
You said
Bergvall and Javi.
Gray. No, not Bergvall. Gray. Yeah.
Okay.
Right now, I need Gray. Gray, Palhinha, and Javi. And then I have Tell, Solanke, and Kudus if he's back. I don't know if he's back, but everyone said he would be.
Yeah, now Kudus, I don't know if he will start. I don't know if he's fit enough to start, but he'll be back. I think he'll be on the bench against Sunderland.
Right now, I would start him. I don't get because
did I see Ghana playing tonight against Germany? It was Ghana.
Yeah.
Why is he playing for them, man? I need him in games. Get him out there.
For me,
I didn't know he didn't play for them. I need him out there.
No way.
I need him in this. I need him fit. I don't care. I'm not taking him out like Arsenal players are. Yeah, I need him fit. I need him playing. I need him in games right now.
I get what you're saying about Kudus, and he probably won't be match fit. But I will take 45 minutes of Kudus, not probably match fit, okay, on that wing as opposed to Mawani, as opposed to
Bergvall,
whoever.
Sousa,
Gallagher. Don't do it to me. Don't just give me a winger. Actually think about it. And here's a question for you. I know we probably have to bounce in a bit, but when was the last time you lot saw 11 players and they were all playing in their right position? I don't remember.
It's been a minute.
I don't think Frank did it once. Frank played Archie Gray as a 10 from the start of the game. Not because of injuries, not because of concussion.
Okay. Was it Bournemouth? No.
Something like that, yeah?
Burnley.
I actually remember because in the chat, I was incensed. I wasn't watching the game, right? I wasn't watching the game. I go online, right? I log into my socials. I say, what's going on? Like people saying, Archie in the 10. I said, what? I said, Ash, please tell me he's not. He said, yeah, he is, you know.
The one's there.
Ash, Bergvall's played as a left winger. Xavi's played as a left winger. Gray was as a 10. We've had Sousa at right mid. We've had Porro at the wing. We've had
I've seen Tell at like wing back as well. Oh, stop it, man. I've seen.
Hey, but listen, wait, stay there, because the Zerbi, I've seen them play a couple man as wing backs. I've seen them play. What's his face? Some player that they bought from PSV in it he's a winger in that Dutch league. I see him play him as a wing back. I've seen him turn wingers. Even that guy they signed from Juventus, Black Donny. Oh, what's his name, man? Timothy Weah.
Yeah,
I see him play. I see the Zerbi play him as a wing back as well. I've seen him like take wingers. So if we see
if that's going to happen,
I'm just saying you might see Tell as a wing back. Don't get mad.
Do that in the summer. Right, mess around in the summer. When you go to New Zealand, do all that kind of stuff. Yeah, experiment, have a little, hacker, do whatever you need to do. But right now, Sunderland away, play 11 players in the right positions. Okay, please.
Man. Against Everton away, the only player that was playing out of position was Brandon Johnson. Everyone else played in their position.
All it takes is one dead spot.
Oh no, Jed's playing left back. Sorry, forget that.
Thank you.
Let's stay with that though. Do you think Kudos can stop us from getting relegated? Do you think
yes?
He can be one of the reasons. Yeah, he can be one of. He can shoot us out of the relegation zone. Yes. I think
In this system, funny enough, where you need a 1v1 winger, right? You had Matoma at Brighton, obviously.
Yeah.
You need a 1v1 winger. Kudus can do that. Do you know what I mean? Like, he can. Now, it's not just going to be all on him.
Yeah.
Give me a functional midfield. Give me a resting defense. When people break on us, it's not just, like 5 horses, the 4 horsemen of hell coming at our goalkeeper. Right? Give me something we can build on. But Kudus is a very, very welcome addition to a team that's been struggling for any sort of creativity. If it's all on Xavi Simons, it ain't going to work because 1, he's a little bit lightweight. 2, he's still figuring out the league, takes too many touches, and I don't think we've had a system built enough to play for him, right? If you look at him, he plays well, and those type of players, Maddison's whatever, they play well when you've got movement in front of you. Xavi gets on the ball, turns around, and sees Richarlison standing there having a cup of tea with a centre back.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It doesn't work. Now Richarlison's done well for us this season, so I'm not even trying to slag him, but it's just style of play. You just got to be honest.
Our results turned when Kudos got injured.
Yeah,
mad.
And our performances, not just results.
He's been injured since Sunderland. Okay, which we drew 1-1. This was just in January. We drew Brentford 0-0 the game before that, and we'd beat Crystal Palace, which was our last win. After that, we've drawn like 2 games. The rest we've lost. He's the problem, the thing is, the West Ham fans will say. I know West Ham fans said when he's not up for the fight, and that's the only worrying part. Because when I did watch him through parts, he wasn't really up for the fight. It was more Jared Bowen who was up for it.
He fought us though that game and got sent off.
Yeah, but they weren't in a relegation battle then.
That game though, he was playing through the middle. He was doing madness. Do you remember?
Yeah, I actually like him in that free-ish role, man, because I think he's such a battering ram, and he also provides something a bit Machiavellian, a bit Maverick style in that zone.
Does Zerbi like that? Does he like Mavericks?
I don't know, man. We have to wait.
Look, the thing is, Zerbi ain't got. If Zerbi's going to take this job right now, he knows what we've got. He could not sit there and say he can't come in. He can't. If he
wants to do it his way.
Yeah, but if he comes to that first press conference and gives a Igor Tudor speech where he goes, I can do this, I can do that, and I can do that, then I'm done. Zerbi's done as well. He's done out here. You've seen what the circus we've got. Just come in and say, I've got a job to do, and I've got to do it. That's all he's got to say. You don't need to come out and nothing else. If he comes out with anything positive about these players, then we're done.
Yeah. Listen, I think, like I said, having those 2 players back, Bergvall, Kudus, will give us better options. It means that, if the game is, a draw, 60 minutes, 65 minutes, you look around and go, Kudus, can you come on and do something? Bergvall, can you do something maybe as an high 8? Okay, I don't think he should be playing deeper on the pitch because as he can lose the ball. When he loses the ball, he's rash when trying to get back. Is getting a yellow card or giving away fouls, or it puts a lot of pressure on whoever's playing midfield with him. He has done it, and he's done it well in some points. But at this stage, again, you want people doing the simple things to the best of their ability. Okay, put them in positions that is going to be less risk in terms of their flaws coming out, because they're all flawed. They're not perfect. They're not world class yet. Like some of these players may get to that stage, but you then look and go, right, how can I set up a team where I'm not exposing the worst part of you? So Spence, don't play on the left, because the worst part of you is when you come back inside, there's nothing for you to do. And I've got no combination for you in there because I've put Saar as a 10. So there's nothing, like, it's just madness.
Yeah, no, I hear it. So like, I did see a video floating around of Maddison on his YouTube, and he's doing like little bits here and there. Does anyone think that he will feature this season? Or
Yeah, I think he will. I think he will. 2 or 3 games time, I think he will.
Does he make a difference to us staying up? And where does he play? Does he play in at 10? Does he drop Xavi out? Does he or does he play a deeper role?
Yeah, he plays a 10. He plays a 10, but he does what he's capable of doing, of helping us break that first line in that first phase, and also when he's in the final third, linking up with the attackers in the ways that we need him to. He's kind of been one of the players that I think we've kind of missed this season. But again, like, I just don't think there should be much pressure on a player like that coming up.
And also,
coming off an
he won't be back for another couple of weeks, let's say, like a couple games. We need to still be in the situation, in the race, for him to make an impact. Like, we've got to get something from Sunderland away, right? We absolutely have to. If it's a win, perfect. If it's a draw, then, whatever. Do you know what I mean? But we can't lose that game. We cannot lose that game.
We said that against Forest.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, no. We've been saying it for at least 2 months. Do you know what I mean? But as what happens, when you push it to the extreme, you now really can't. Like, you could have lost that game before, maybe 6 weeks ago, because you had 13 games left. Now with 7 left, and I hope they've all been sitting there watching what's going on. Not a lot of them really. Well, some of them travelled for their international, but sit there, watch what's going on, see how the board has made a move, whether you like it or not. Tough it up, lace up your boots, and let's go.
Here's a scenario. West Ham win Friday night.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they will.
Pressure's on the boys.
Yeah.
Again, the stadium of light. Stadium's a bit of a cauldron. You know what I'm saying? Up northeast. I don't know if you've seen the little fights between them and Newcastle. But obviously,
we're not Newcastle, so we're right.
No. I'm just trying to create that kind of like the atmosphere, innit? Like, they're on it. They're a footballing city. They're down. They're down for the war. Like,
so let me
no. Sunderland are not known as the football city. They know when they're winning, they're all good, but when they're losing, they become Newcastle fans. That's what they're known as.
That's not another show, bro. But what I'm saying, in terms of the Spurs thing, I'm saying the pressure's on the boys.
Yeah,
and they're having to go up.
It's more pressure on us. Sunderland will be it'll be any other home game for them. They won't treat it any differently. It's just that Sunderland are playing well at home. I think they've only lost to Liverpool. Don't quote me on that. I know they lost to.
I think they had a bit of a bad run before. They
dropped off a little bit, but for them, their Premiership place is kind of secured, so they're playing with a little bit of freedom.
Yeah.
So if the pressure's on us, I don't know if the pressure's on us. Well, we're going to
they're playing with freedom. They've got no pressure.
Of course, the pressure's on us, man. Like, we're a team who haven't won in 13. They're a team who've been playing kind of well at home. They're going to think, okay, this is just business as usual. But they also can't underestimate us because we're fighting. We're trying to get points.
So Sunderland at home, they lost. They beat Burnley on the 2nd of Feb.
Yeah,
3-0. But before that, they lost to West Ham. Sorry, that was away. Sorry.
Yeah, and they lost away.
But they beat. They lost to Liverpool at home.
Yeah, that was their.
They lost to Fulham at home.
Fulham, that was the other one. I couldn't remember. Yeah.
And then Brighton, so that's 3 in a row, and then they beat Newcastle. So in the last 4 home games, okay, they've won 1 out of 4. Okay, the advantage for us is that the game is at 2:00. If the game was at 8:00 on Saturday night, Newcastle, the way them fans will be ready, I think 2:00 we might be lucky, a few hangovers from the night before. Okay, the stadium might not be rocking as much. Okay,
I know exactly.
Let's see
exactly what's happening that day, man.
Yeah, and then you know what's going to happen. 6th minute, they get a corner. Vicario flaps. I don't know. Is Vicario even going to be fit for that game?
No.
Is he not?
No, Vicario's had.
Oh, Marlon. So who's going to play in goal?
No, Vicario's had hernia surgery. He's out. He's basically done for the season.
I thought they said that there were reason they were going for the surgery
mean,
just after he'd be back.
I think he definitely won't play the game against Sunderland for sure. He definitely won't play the game.
Interesting.
Exclusive. You heard it here first. Top.
He shouldn't be. From what everyone's saying, he shouldn't be. But apparently, the reason why they let him go for the surgery is that he'd be back for Sunderland.
Yeah, but you know how Spurs go, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, we'll say,
Yeah, I know.
this game, and then it's a week later. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
Probably didn't even go for surgery. It was an excuse because he's been so bad. Vinay was like, "We've got to put something out." Because if you notice, since they put out, everyone's like, "Oh yes, it's like just January." That's when he really fell off. It's like they knew when he proper fell off.
All right, so Coach Dave is saying Austin. I'm assuming you man are saying Kingsley, innit? If my man's not available, if Ricardo's not there, do you have that same confidence that you lot were just talking about? You know, there's a lot of confidence in the air against Sunderland. Do you still have that same confidence with Kingsley, that back line in goal?
I mean, I don't have anything else to give confidence in anything, so I'm just gonna have to. There's nothing. What else? What are we left with, bro? What are we left with? Kinski or Austin? What are we left with? Like, come on.
I'm saying, is there confidence that we still get the result that we need?
Like, listen, it's gonna have to be a team effort for sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
For sure.
Listen, it's going to be a case of, we score more than you, which is obviously how you win games anyway. But that it's going to be quite cavalier.
Kings can get man of the match.
We're not scoring goals like that, man. We're not.
The Zerbi's first game win, 3 points. Can you hear it? You see it? Can you see it?
Bring it.
Listen, man. Like, I hate
all the agendas will be
I hate
gone.
to be the bring
What's that?
When I was
All the agendas will be gone. If we were the first game, all the agendas are gone.
Listen, man. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but they are cooking up something nasty for us that day. Like you, man. I wish I could be positive. I wish I could be positive, but Sunderland, all eyes on me. Us. Nah, I know exactly.
No, we ain't got the all eyes on me slot yet. It's not 4:30. It's 2 o'clock. Like I said, man, 2 o'clock. People aren't even awake yet.
Exactly what's happening to us.
Hey, Spurs are talking the town right now. I can't lie. Everyone's on to Spurs. Everyone's watching us for some reason. Like
the football, they know exactly what they want for us, man.
Yeah,
I wish them all the best.
Hey, so what? You think Spurs are going to stay in the league then? That's out from what you're saying, Coach.
Me?
Yeah.
I said I think it's by 1 or 2 points. I don't like West Ham at all. I don't rate them. I'll never rate them. I'll never rate West Ham. I can't stand West Ham. Do you know what I mean? Like this is.
I think it's going to be Leeds that go. If it's not us, it'll be Leeds.
But my issue is that once we get into the bottom three,
it's getting out.
That is the biggest problem for me, man. Like, it's just even going into that game. Say West Ham win, know that you can't not come away from Sunderland with a point. Without a point to come out of that, it's just.
And Wolves are next away game, isn't they? After that, is it Wolves?
Yeah, Wolves after that. Come on,
after away game, yeah. So we got to go Wolves. No, we go Sunderland, Brighton, and Wolves.
Yeah. Oh, we go back to Amex. Is it Amex at home? Oh, that's at home.
So at home, Brighton's at home. Yes. To be honest, out of the 3 games, Brighton's the only game I'm looking at sideways. Going, we ain't getting a result at home. There's nothing deserving.
You think
we're at home? We are at home. There's no confidence.
All season at home, bro.
My fault.
The only thing that gives me confidence is that Brighton begin with B, and that's the only teams we've beat at home. This team is B like Brighton and Burnley. Not Brighton and Burnley, Burnley and Brentford. So maybe there's something in it.
Is an insane stat pool.
It's crazy though. Like,
that's insane.
We have won 7 games all season. 2 of them have been at home, my guys.
94-95, it's the score.
2 games, one at home all season. We've played 31.
Yeah, but on that though, 94-95, is this team worse or better than that 94-95 team?
They are
player for player.
For player and talent-wise, and when you think, I know it's a lot more easier to get an international cap these days.
He's better, man.
Yeah, this team is better. The problem that we've got is that back then, you didn't have this amount of teams that were better.
Yeah, it's true.
So the Premier League's obviously changed, and there was a lot more teams back then in the Premier League as well.
And it is a lot higher for sure.
Yeah, and Ozzy Ardiles tried to play and Postecoglou way.
But that's the Zerbi, no? He's a gun-ho. The Zerbi's
Yeah, but
gun-ho.
he's not. No, but he's not as much as Ange.
I don't think it's as gung ho as you're saying.
Yeah,
that
no, yeah,
3-2-5 shape that you can bring in.
Yeah, no,
because
it is quite. Yeah, it's not as gun-ho.
Listen,
I remember him at
3-2-5.
Brighton. He was all right.
3-2-5.
Yeah.
How different that is to Ange.
Yeah.
Like when in possession to be 3-2-5, you got someone guarding the middle. You got someone who can go out into the flanks. We don't lose our central solidity, whatever. Ange used to have 2-1 everyone else. Madness, right? That's why Van der Veng's hamstrings are gone. That's why Doji's hamstrings are gone. That's why Bergwijn collapses in the middle of a game and he's injured for 6 weeks.
The echo, the remnants of Ange. Yeah?
No. Honestly, no. Even listen, people will say, "Oh, you're blaming Ange still." No, seriously, like we see it in football all the time. When players that young get muscular injuries, that stays for at least a couple of years. Do you know what I mean? And playing that intensity of football, that many sprints in our league, I'm sure it works in Scotland, I'm sure it works in Japan, but
Poch's squad is
it doesn't bode well.
Yeah,
because Harry Kane didn't rely on his pace. He was the only one who come out of all of that who survived.
Yeah, but if you remember, Ali was another one. He's a young player who probably played probably too many minutes or whatever. Once his hamstring started going, that was it. But if you remember with Kane always got injured in January. Kane always got injured like mid-season, right? So he did have maybe 10 games out or 5 to 6 games out. Do you know what I mean? But he'd always get that January, February knock, ankles, ligaments and tendons kind of stuff, you know, and he sorted that out.
The day that Poch left, Kane's injuries just disappeared.
All of a sudden.
Just disappeared.
I mean, to be fair, it was well documented that they did do double sessions as well.
Yeah. He's a part of that kind of.
But Jurgen Klopp is the same. Jurgen Klopp's got the same methods. It's the madness, and there's only a certain cycle that them players will last for, especially when they're young, and then they just.
One thing though, one good thing,
like the Zerbi's injury record, is it all right? Like with his teams,
I'm not sure. I don't think it's great from what I've read in the past, but I'm not gonna sit there and say I know everything.
One thing I will say though, that's a positive. The only positive from Tudor's time was the fact he got them fitter, and they seem to be fitter in games. And we were playing into the 70th and 80th minute, okay? Which is a shocker that I have to even say that for professional footballers on 40, 50, 60k a week. But here we are. Do you know what I mean? They can run. So hopefully Zerbi can match that with a bit of technical competency, right? We beat Sunderland, we get a draw against Brighton, and it's all looking rosy.
I like what he did there. But in real life,
I'm gonna have to go.
So on that note,
that note, it's been lovely, guys.
Big up, man.
Big up.
This is Coach Dave's team, man. Look.
Let me see that.
It's Coach Dave's team.
All right, look at the link up.
Oh no, sorry, not Kingsky though. Sorry, should have got Austin in there.
Austin
and no Porter either, man. Get out, come out of here.
Oh yeah, get Porter. Anyway, see you later.
Later. Yeah, man. Boy, what international break? Has he signed yet though? I know we're talking a lot.
No, he hasn't.
He's probably gonna sign tomorrow.
Is it tomorrow?
Yeah, it's probably gonna be tomorrow.
Exclusive. You heard it here first, man.
No, I'm just saying. Like, it's been the whole day since 10 o'clock this morning. It's been Zerbi. So I'm assuming, like, I know that people are moaning that he signed a 5-year contract. He ain't gonna last 5 years. We know it.
Yeah, no, he's doing that for his
but you know what? It's really funny because it's always the same. It's always the managers that we think are not going to last long here that end up lasting longer.
True. But then the issue is as well, is that, like, you know, all this money that we've spent on these managers and the compensation, you know, it all could have amounted to something if they had just backed Poch when they needed to, man.
Simple.
To just back Poch.
Levy, Enoch, they'll always Levy thought we could do it cheaper. That was Levy and one in Jose.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely some argument to be had that we tried to cheat the process.
We did.
In getting Conte and getting Jose when we did, but again, you know, can't cheat the process, man.
But we were cheating it anyway because we were doing better than we were supposed to on the Poch.
course.
And we then didn't want to go, oh, let's take that extra step. But for me, I don't even know if Poch would have even taken us to that next level. I reckon he would have maintained it. I don't know if he would have taken it.
I mean, maybe that's what he thought the decline was happening. But who do you not think Robert Zerbi would improve the most? Like if he was to come in, like in the summer, and we had him like for the next season.
Depends on who's going to be.
For me, I think it would be the midfielders.
Conor Gallagher.
I think the midfielders. I just think the midfielders are like.
He blocked it out.
I don't know, man. This is something that I've had a big issue with Spurs for a long time. Honestly, probably since like Moussa Dembele, Wanyama pivot, but we just don't control games enough. We don't. We allow the momentum, the tempo of the game to be dictated outside of the midfield. Puts a lot of pressure on the attackers, puts a lot of pressure on the defenders, and it feels almost it's too tumultuous in its nature. It's too up and down, and the games I think need to be controlled at a better like rate or better lick. I feel like De Zerbi, he probably had that to some extent with Caicedo and McAllister, and I think as well to some extent when I look at the guys that he employed. Interestingly, how he employed someone like Højbjerg in his team at Marseille. They were playing some really, really good stuff at some points. But I think for me, just because of the nature of how he builds up and how they use the midfielders to almost draw teams out and kind of bait teams out, I think you'll probably learn a little bit more about what the abilities of some of the guys are on the ball. So maybe a player like Gray or a player like Bergvall, maybe even Sarr, look a little bit more different in possession. How they like look at their spacing and how they look at their distances to kind of help bait that sort of that press that teams will do before they kind of beat that and then transition into the first and second phase. I think the midfielders probably are the ones that, because I mean, you look at the way football's going now as well. You know, you look at the number of passes made across games now. The most amount of passes are made by the defenders. And frankly, the back four aren't terrible at passing, but they're very, very comfortable at passing amongst each other. That Porro to Romero to Van der Ven back to Vicario to Udogie. And if you look at a lot of what De Zerbi's team do, there's a high volume of passes in that sort of back first third of the team. So it's really, the difference is really made when you get it into that midfielders who can kind of then either beat the press, whether it's with a combination or whether it's with an ISO like one-on-one dribble per se, or even just be able to just pass yourself out of that sort of press, really. Like, I have my reservations because I still feel the team is not at a technical level to be able to do what I think he would like us to do. We're still going to need to make some changes in the market, but whatever he can do for us to try and get us out of this hole, then yeah, I'm for it. I can't really see how.
Like here's some of his squad building, and he took Højbjerg from Spurs.
Bro, if he can bring Timber in next year, I'll be happy with that.
He brought Timber in. Do you like rate his talent ID? Because he's brought Timber in here. You can see he also brought in, like I said, Timothy Weah. Wanyeri, he brought
turned him into a right back.
Yeah, turned him into a right back to something.
I'll tell you what, the one thing that De Zerbi is going to do while he's here, he's going to make everyone come at me because he's going to turn Archie Gray probably into a £120 million midfielder. And everyone's going to be like, we told you. And you know what? I can live with it. It'll be the one thing I get wrong.
I don't know, man. Like, I just think he's going to the top, man. Like, people might just say you're talking crazy. Like, he's from a footballing stock. He knows how to play the game and how to play it properly.
Yeah, but I heard his brother's better.
I just think that, like,
what though?
And the thing that gets me about him is not even just what I'm seeing. Is like, in spite of all this, bro, in spite of how we've played, in spite of how he's looked, I'm still seeing the kind of teams that he's linked with if we get relegated, and it's telling me exactly what I need to know, man.
Yeah, but he could go to those teams and then It'd be like Conor Gallagher. He went to Atletico Madrid. Doesn't mean he's going to turn. You know.
Yeah, man. Come on,
you go to any club. You can
might,
be linked with bare clubs. Batista played at Bayern Munich, and now he's at Tottenham. Kolo Muani was at Juventus.
You can tell, like the level. Like, I mean, if a guy like Gallagher goes to Atletico and doesn't last, there's probably a reason.
Yeah, but Archie Gray could be in the same camp. We just don't know.
Yeah, we don't.
Looking at the team here, he brought in Verbruggen.
Yeah,
you've actually been linked with it, funny enough.
Yeah,
Van Hecker as well. Van Hecker.
Gross was really good under him.
Solly Marsh was a good player under him, I thought.
Gilmore wasn't great under him. He was okay.
You remember?
Didn't he get his move to Napoli from them as well?
Yeah, exactly. I think without him, he doesn't get the move to Napoli. I think he improved Gilmore, and I thought João Pedro played well, but I think the best player, like striking wise, is Ferguson. Ferguson, I think he got like his decision making, when to shoot, positioned him right. I think he went up tenfold because a lot of people talk about Ferguson. Oh, look how great this player is. Look how amazing he is. But no one's really talking about Ferguson anymore. So there's like a few players I feel like if they're under tutelage or under a certain coach, he can bring them up another 5 or 10%. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think Ferguson's a good case for that. And I also think, as I said before, McAllister and Caicedo are another examples of this. But look, he lost Caicedo and he lost McAllister. He bought Gilmore and bought Grosjean. They were still doing the thing. The only thing I will say is, when it came to 2 games a week,
yeah, but like I think this is
we're gonna have 2 games a week, so it's fine.
No. I'm saying for that first season, I think
it's very fair to argue this stuff, but you just got to build the squad better. That's it.
I know. I agree with that point.
Like what Dave said.
I said earlier as well.
Guys that you bring on, the drop off can't be too high. It can be a little, but not. It can't be massive.
You're right. I agree, man. I agree, man.
Like, and that's where our issue is that like for a long time, you know, the first guy that's starting is okay, good, but then the next guy beyond him this drop off is so low. It's such a stark contrast that you're actually losing so much. You're losing so much by the time you've even made that change. Like, I mean, arguably, like, and I hate to say this because I'm not trying to be like detrimental to like, you know, the way that we've done it, but I look at Danso and Danso is backup centre back, and I think arguably what he does is exactly what a backup centre back does. You're not going to come in and pull up trees, but the team's going to need you either to step in a free or to be the backup and do the simple stuff well. I can live with Danso being a backup. I can't live with Dragusin being a backup because the drop off from a technical perspective is so low. It's so low. And I'm looking at that and thinking,
the thing with Dragusin is mishmash, isn't it? Because
you like you know,
you really don't know what you're gonna get.
You don't know whether you're gonna get a 7 or whether you're gonna get a 2.
No. And it's literally there's no in between. It is literally you're gonna get,
you know, there's no
you're gonna get more 2s than 7s, but when he does pull up a 7, you're like, where the fuck did that come from?
Yeah, you know, and you can't really. You know, again, that's squad building because we had the ability to make that decision. We spent on the player. We didn't support the player. The player got injured, and all of a sudden,
sounds like you're just dogging on all Paratici signings, but you're loving Lange.
Oh, I mean, it's interesting what you man was saying as well because I think it's important that the squad does need changing. But everyone in football knows that to really change a squad, you're going to need 2 free windows, which means we're looking at basically next summer, not the summer that's about to come, but next summer until we start to see any real benefits of the positive changes that we could have to chopping and changing guys.
They need to bring in 3 players, core players that are going to literally first team players that are going to change the direction of this team.
Yeah.
But whether they can get that is another question. And the problem they've got is as well, they need to make sure that's so for 3 seasons straight we've had injuries. Yeah. So it's not an Ange thing, it's a Tottenham thing. Yeah. You need to make sure you have a big enough squad now to cope with this because you cannot do what you just did in January because you can't sit there and say other players are going to come back. Oh, what about the other players that are going to get injured in between that time? They can't do that again.
I mean, to think that we heard that as fans and didn't say nothing. Like, I don't know, man.
You don't see my football. You don't see my short that I did.
Well, the thing is, I mean, like guys that know. Like, I mean, I play in a Saturday league, and we've fortunately we won the league this year. But
look at him.
We wouldn't have won the league. We wouldn't have won the league without a deep squad, and that's just at this level, man. Let alone going to pro level where you're either going to be supporting the team with experienced heads or academy guys. You're going to need the squad. Like, it really annoys me as well. Like now that we're at this point in the season and we're having to use a Roswell, we're having to use an Olusesi when these guys have actually been there all season. You could have lessened the load on some of the first team players that you just continued to play and to tire out and to put through all the stresses of the season, when a lot of these other younger guys who we now know are probably at an okay level, and you didn't trust them. You didn't give them the opportunity to build their confidence. And then similarly to like Kinski, I mean, I don't think Kinski's a great goalkeeper. I don't think he's a great goalkeeper. I think from a kicking perspective, yes, he's good. I think he's young. You're going to give a guy like that confidence. But then I don't know what people expected. The guy hadn't played since October, man. Like he literally didn't play. He didn't kick a professional football since October.
And the last time he kicked, he made a mistake as well.
No, so you expecting him to? Okay, I know Atletico probably done something to the turf and whatnot, but you can't expect him to suddenly pick pull up trees and that. I mean, and then obviously it's a horrible revolving cycle because you've now put him back in, and then you've fucked his confidence even more, and then you can't get him out of it, and it's just constantly going. And then now you hear about all this stuff with Vicario, his coach is coming out and saying, okay, he basically has had this injury for 2 months, and then you're like, okay, but you've got 2 keepers who are fit that you've not given more confidence, and then when they find this out, it's further damaging their confidence because they're not being given the opportunities when they clearly could have played. But then you don't want to give them a chance because when they do play,
you've had it. But what makes it worse is that even if you didn't trust those 2 goalkeepers, you had a whole 31 days to fix it.
This is it, man. And then it goes back to the squad building and the ability to lead the game. And
I'll talk on this at the end of the season because at the moment there's still a smidgen with RD, whatever call him, RDZ.
Yeah, man.
Hey,
man. I appreciate you. I'm out, man.
Tops. Cheers, bro.
Man. Much appreciated. Ash, Marlon.
Love
as always, my guys.
Big
up, man.
So we won't look. Obviously, the Zerbi's had these political problems, as in a lot of groups have wanted him not to come in.
Hey, football's football, though.
Football. Look, the issue that you're always going to have is, especially in this day and age, is that everyone's got something. And look, he was set up. He did answer the question. And the problem is, he answered it badly and poorly.
Yeah,
he answered it badly and poorly.
It's no joke.
No, and
hey, listen, it's crazy.
It's absolutely crazy. So, on that, because I know we haven't even brought it up in this show, but it was just to say, look,
I said it at the start.
And then you got, but the problem is that where do you stop in this game as well? Because Vinay is he can't talk either.
Yeah, the blood is on their hands, bro. The blood is on
their hands. So they've and
at least one of them has to go. At least one. Minimum. We want both, but at least one has to exit the building. Facts. Do you know what I'm saying? But with this club, you just never know. Do you know what I'm saying? We see it, but do they see it? Do the board members look at them and think, right, we need to start planning without them because they put us in this mess? Do you know what I'm saying? But 100%, they need to start. If they're serious and they manage to survive this mess, if they don't...
Vinay's their guy, isn't he? Vinay's their guy. He is their guy where Lange is Levy's.
Vivian, she trusted him. So it's it's on Vivian's head. Really, I'm surprised no one's not talking about Vivian more. Do you know what I'm saying? As a figurehead. Remember, she's basically taken out of Levy. She's taken Daniel's place, and Vivian's now the new head figure. If you want to pin something on someone and you want a figurehead, then it has to be Vivian. Do you know what I'm saying? And then the rest, obviously, they're doing bits and bobs. But she's the one that said she wanted to take this. She did the investigation on Levy. She's the one that kind of was the one like, oh, look, we're the Lewis family.
She hated you. You could tell someone did that she hated him.
Yeah. Oh, I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. So now,
go with you.
this is on her. This is her responsibility. So she needs to kind of turn it
Yeah.
around in the summer.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. Listen, look, I ain't gonna say no more on it, but it's gonna be interesting. I'm just gonna sit back. I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna see what happens. And look, the Zerbi was wanted from a lot of managers. Let's not get it twisted. Because when I was linked to Manchester United, there weren't none of this talk. But obviously, Man United are a bigger club than us. But I remember watching the Athletic. I remember hearing fans getting giddy, United fans. Oh, the Zerbi. But obviously now we're linked to it. The narrative changes, isn't it? It is what it is.
Yeah.
Look at the position we are. Look at the club we are. Look at where we are run as an institute. So, yeah, man. Listen, football's a fickle game, man. You win a couple games.
Everyone forgets.
Everyone forgets. Players, all of a sudden, they look different. They start moving. We get players back. Energy's different. You know what I'm saying? So, look, I'm going to keep quiet. I'm not going to say too much. I'm going to let...
Apart from Ben White playing for England.
Hey, listen, I remember certain Glenn Hoddle when he was the England manager. I remember what he said. People don't want to talk about that. Do you remember?
Yeah, true.
He said a certain afterlife. He said people they might have been doing something wrong in their previous life, and that's the reason why they come back. But I ain't gonna talk too much. You know what I'm saying? I like Glenn Hoddle. He's my guy still. But yeah, it is what it is.
So, thanks to everyone. Please like, subscribe, and comment. If you have not seen,
what is the like count, bro? What is the like count? What is the like count?
Oh, mate, you're gonna
We never do that. We never do this, but
all right, let's do it because you're asking. It's only us two now, and people will come to see everyone else and not us.
That's how it is, man. That's how it rolls, bro.
64,
guys. Can we get that up to 100? Can
we
get 100?
Let's just hit it.
And then what we are for a subscriber count as well. What's that?
To be fair, because of the video that's come out as well, we are up to. Hold on, if I can get it up. Jesus. Well, 4,550.
So we need another 450 people. We're trying to hit the 5K. Let's make that happen. Love, respect, and manners. I do have a show coming up. Do I have a show coming up? I think I got a show coming up Wednesday. Only because it's international break. So I'm like, sometimes I don't like to force it, and other times I get excited.
Well, there's a big talking topic for you on Wednesday.
What's that?
The international injuries.
Oh, yeah. Received. You know what I mean? I won't say too much. I'll watch and find out.
It's been so funny because Arsenal fans, I know but Ferguson used to do it. And
listen, if I was in that position, I would want the same thing. I'm not going to lie to you.
But they're taking the piss. But they get away with it. It is what it is.
It is what it is, man. But yeah, man, big up, man.
But yeah, big up. Look, hopefully for us, Spurs will get out of this situation. Hopefully. But we are where we are. Yeah. Bryce. Elijah. I need Elijah to make a retracted video. One video where I had my hat off. Labeled for that. But no, big up to everyone. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. It's been great with everyone participating in the show. We've been watching the chat as it goes by. You've been great. If you haven't already, please make sure you go over and see the relegation video that we did. I think that's on 2K already of views. See if we can get that up as well. Please share that with Spurs fans that are not on YouTube as well, because actually it's a good video in that sense to see where everybody's at. It's so different. And it was just before Tudor got sacked as well.
We should have done a poll tonight, you know.
Yeah.
We should have done a poll tonight. Maybe the next show we'll do a poll. See what
hopefully I want another video to come out this weekend, but I need Ash to do the work for it. So I'm going to ask him afterwards.
Find out.
If he can do it, if anyone will do it for him. But it'd be interesting if we can do it. But yeah, make sure you tune in on Wednesday. If you haven't, catch the monthly show we did on Friday with me, Manny, Rain, and I was about to call him Scott. His name's not Scott. His name's Luke. Where did I get Scott from?
Yeah, Luke,
As well. But yeah, make sure you catch up on anything we've done. And if you haven't already, please make sure you hit that notification bell. April's going to be fun. And we'll be back next week. I don't know what we're going to talk about next week.
Oh, there's always something to talk about.
Yeah.
Big up to the chat, though, as always, man. Love.
Big up to the chat. Do you know what? We always go longer because of the chat more than anything else. So big up to you lot. And thanks for tuning in live, even though there was Sava was on and so was Last Word. So big up to all of you that tuned in.
Let the stream, man. They get it. They get the idea now. End it.
But as always,